Have a great night.
Yeah, you too.
Let's have a great broadcast.
Let's do it.
Neil?
All right, Royal City, are you ready?
And a good evening to everybody out there in internet land. Welcome to Guelph Royals TV. This is Guelph Royals Baseball, a big battle upcoming. You might as well call this a three-game series for third place because it sure looks like that is exactly what we're in for over the next couple of days as the Guelph Royals take on the London Majors. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman here in the broadcast booth, live at Hastings Stadium. Josh, we're in for a good one here tonight.
You can say that again, Mark. It's the battle for third place, and it couldn't be closer. Heading into tonight's contest, the London Majors, 23-15. They are 6 games back of the league leading Welland Jackfish. They hold that third place spot that the Royals so desperately covet. The Royals, 22-16. They are 7 games back, and like you said, what could essentially be called a 3-game series, this could turn the tide in that middle ground of the league standings.
There's an outside chance where you could realistically see one of these two teams catch the Barrie Baycats if the Baycats find themselves on a schneid to end the regular season and you have maybe a sweep in this 3-game set between these two teams. But really, this is a battle to determine who's going to play Chatham, who's going to play Hamilton. Nothing is decided by any means in that 5 and 6 spot in the IBL. Both Chatham, Kent, and Hamilton at 18 and 22 on the regular season. But for this season series, as we take a look at the starting lineup for the London Majors, it'll be Victor Plaz at third base. Drew Lawrence is at center field. Eduardo De Olio is the catcher. Caden Cardoso comes in as the first baseman, hitting cleanup. My pick for Rookie of the Year, by the way. Cleveland Brownlee is the DH. Byron Reichstein is the right fielder. Starling Joseph, the left fielder. Gibson Kresminski is the shortstop. Jagan Chanderdat is the second baseman, taking on Evan Grills. London's won 2 of 3 against the Guelph Royals this year. Big key for the Royals. Put some runs on the board.
That has to be the #1 goal, and try and shut down this London Majors offense. They've been on a roll as of late. The Royals have the lowest runs allowed in the league. I mean, their starters, their relief pitchers, they are some of the best, top quality here in the IBL. But as of late, they just haven't been able to make things click. So it's up to the offense to get the job done. We've got some bats that are, well, I don't know what the opposite of a hot streak is, but
well, right now, tied for 6th with 220 runs this year, the Guelph Royals. Against the London Majors, they've only scored 3 times, 3 runs in a matter of 3 games. Quite frankly, that's just not going to do it.
Especially if you want to be in a good spot come playoff time, you really need to step it up.
Starting things off with Victor Plaz, the third baseman. The Royals wearing their digital camo jerseys tonight. First pitch turned on is going to go into right field, and Andy Leader will get underneath it. We're underway at 7:33 Eastern. The only show in town here tonight in the IBL.
1 pitch is all it takes. Leader puts that one away, and that is going to bring up the center fielder, Drew Lawrence.
And, of course, taking on Evan Grills, making his 5th start of the season. Now, what do we know about Evan and just what he's been able to do as of late?
Well, the 31-year-old Whitby native, he was a former prospect in the Astros system from 2010 to 2016. Heading into tonight's contest, he has a 2.63 ERA across 27 innings pitched. He's recorded 2 wins, 2 losses, and 25 strikeouts.
That one's going to go into right field. A base hit. First hit of the ball game, and that is Drew getting on, putting that one into right center. Good piece of hitting there for Mr. Lawrence.
And if you're the Royals, you might have to be concerned. This early on, someone like Andrew Lawrence is on base. He's a speedster. He's got 7 stolen bases heading into tonight's contest, and with a power bat like DeOlio up, you got to imagine he's running.
Well, famously, Eduardo DeOlio hit 4 home runs in Kitchener in 1 game last season. Quite frankly, put himself into that position where he was the first team All-Star in the IBL. Throw over to first, not in time.
And DeOlio in his 2nd year with the majors. Heading into tonight's game, he's got a 2.97 batting average, 11 doubles, 5 home runs, 26 RBIs, but kind of like Josh Garton with the Royals, he likes to swing at plenty of pitches, mostly that fastball. He likes to chase it.
Turns on that one. Connor Morrow gets it over to second, over to first, not in time. So Eduardo will get on with the fielder's choice, but they retire Lawrence at second base via the 6-4 putout.
I mean, if you had to pick out of the 2 runners, who are you going to get out? It's Andrew Lawrence, 10 times out of 10. You want to try and get a speedster off the base path, limit those runs early on, and let the offense do their thing.
Well, I said it before, and I'll say it again. My pick for Rookie of the Year in the batter's box right now, Caden Cardoso. That one's going to go just up high for ball 1. Cardoso had that 20-game hitting streak to start the year for the London Majors, and had a little bit of a lull, but seems like he's picking things back up.
I mean, he really hasn't looked back since. 333 batting average, 7 doubles, 8 home runs, 27 RBIs, 13 stolen bases, 50 hits in 38 games. I mean, what more can you expect?
That's a resume and a half. Grills throw over to first, and he got him.
Beautiful, beautiful stuff there from the Royals. So the Majors will leave a runner aboard, not able to get anything done as the Royals were able to shut down the surging offense.
Absolutely. We'll be back after this. Don't go anywhere. This is Royals TV. To introduce. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman here in the broadcast booth live at Hastings Stadium on this Wednesday night. Let's take a look now at the starting lineup for the Guelph Royals. Josh, what do we got?
Kicking things off is going to be tonight's right fielder for the Royals, Andy Leader, followed by shortstop Connor Morrow. Third baseman J.D. Williams hitting cleanup tonight. Second baseman Garrett Takamatsu, followed by first baseman Josh Garton. Left fielder Ethan Hammond, DH Drew Durst, catcher Evan Ash, and center fielder Ashton Patterson will round things out for the home side.
Taking on Alex Springer, his first start of the season. Did get a start in 2023 for the London Majors, and he has been dynamite. A 1.68 ERA in the 3 games he has appeared in this year for the London Majors.
Mostly come in as a reliever, now getting to test his mettle as a starter. across 5 innings pitched. Like you mentioned, that's stellar 168 ERA.
That's going to be put into foul territory, getting toward the Majors dugout area, but scampering over there was Cardoso. He's not going to get to that ball in time.
Springer's got 6 strikeouts. He's given up just 1 walk and 4 hits. So it'll be interesting to see if he can go the distance in his first start as a starter this season.
Well, last time he recorded a decision was back on August 18th of last season, so almost a year to the date. Went 5 innings against the Barrie Baycats. Holding up on the bunt there was Leader. Yeah, went 5 innings in that one, gave up 7 hits, 4 runs, struck out 4. It was a start. It was his lone start of the season last year, and it was right at the tail end of the year. So similar situation, Josh, where it's late in the season. You want to maybe get some guys some extra innings as well. Although he is just 22 years of age. That one's going to be put up high, deep to right center, all the way back, and it's going to go against the fence. Leader circling around. He's thinking 3. He will get in there standing up. A stand-up triple for Andy Leader.
I was just watching that one back, thinking, okay, if it doesn't go down, Lawrence is going to get there. He's got a pretty solid arm, but that one bounced off his glove on the transition. Leader made the most of it, went for 3. I think he could have gone for home, but that's just me.
Hey, he was getting close. Leader does have the wheels. Keep in mind, he is a stolen base threat as well. Probably not at third base, especially this early on. Why risk it?
Mm-hmm.
That one's going to miss outside for ball 1 on Connor Morrow. But that's the thing. This very early on in the game, you already have a runner on third base.
No outs. Solid start.
Absolutely. This is going to be put deep enough. Leader's going to get a good jump, and he will go to home. Good throw in there by Reichstein, but not enough. Andy Leader comes home. Connor Morrow with a sac fly, and the Royals have taken a 1-0 lead.
Morrow does what he needed to do, and hey, knock on wood, no announcer's curse tonight, but the Royals, if the bats can click like this the rest of the night, we should be in for a very fun evening.
Well, famously, the last time the Majors were in town here, I may have threw out a jinx out there, but I don't believe in the broadcaster jinx anymore because of it, as we see J.D. Williams in the batter's box here for the Royals. The Royals have taken a 1-0 lead. The last game here in Guelph, it was on June 22nd. It was a 1-0 Royals victory. 2 hours and 6 minutes was the ball game.
Talk about efficient.
It was a very efficient game. I believe Evan Grills was on the mound for that game as well. An 0-2 count here on Williams. Kresminski fields it over to first, and not in time. Williams gets in with an infield single.
Williams, even more dangerous than Andrew Lawrence. He is Mr. Left Turns only for a reason. 13 stolen bases this season. I mean, the guy has got wheels. What more do you need to say? And the Royals, they're threatening. They're knocking at the door right now.
And similarly to Evan Grills, you're going lefty on lefty when it comes to the pitching matchup. Lefty versus lefty, I should say, on the mound. So having that left-handed pitcher out there gives you that extra look over to first, as there's strike 1 on Garrett Takamatsu painting the inside edge. So you get that extra look at JD, and you kind of get that extra eye where you can meet up with him and say, I'm watching you. I'm keeping an eye on you. Don't try to steal. That one goes down the line, just foul.
It did pay off for the Royals, that advantage of just being able to keep an eye on that runner down there at first when they picked off DeLeo. We're going to have to wait and see if that plays into any runners taking shorter leads, more cautious approaches to stealing as this one progresses.
Well, as you mentioned, Josh, 13 stolen bags for JD this year. Has only been caught once, so 13 for 14. Takamatsu watches that one go high and out for a ball. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Garrett Takamatsu, the former IBL MVP, former IBL Rookie of the Year. Runner's going to go, throw into second base, and he got him. JD is contesting it, though, as he says he got the hand in on the base before he was tagged.
He's got to be careful here. He's already been ejected once this season before, and it was a similar call, arguing with the ump over whether or not he was safe, and he's still chawing away.
Well, he's going to trot off now, so base is now empty here for Garrett, and he'll watch that one paint the outside edge for strike 3. So just like that, a pair of outs, and the London Majors get out of it, but not before Andy Leader's triple and Connor Morrow's sac fly. It is Guelph 1, London no score as we head to breaks. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV as we get set for the second inning here at Hastings Stadium. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman. Glad you can join us, whether you are here in Guelph and just can't make it to the park, or you are anywhere else around the world, like a certain someone who might be back in the Guelph Royals lineup possibly by the end of the weekend.
Wink, wink, nudge, nudge.
Hello there, Carson Burns. Glad you can join us. 1 ball, no strikes here on Caden Cardoso. Back in the batter's box. Whoa, he gets out of the way there. 2-0 count here on Cardoso. He was in the box when De Olio was picked off at first base.
So that's going to reset his at-bat. He's back up, and he's going to try and take that one inside, but girls paint in the corners. 2-1 now, the count.
The way he picks the corners quite well, it is an art form. Yes, he is a former pro. I mean, that's why you bring in a guy like this who can work so many quadrants. The 2-1 is going to be popped up and will go into the crowd and out of play. So Cardoso again, now facing 2 balls, 2 strikes, hits in 4 of his last 5 ball games. It's been a regular for the London Majors this season. That one's taken down low. Ash protects it. Let's take a look at the defense for the Guelph Royals. Ethan Hammond, Ashton Patterson, Andy Leader working the outfield. J.D. Williams, Connor Morrow, Garrett Takamatsu, and Josh Garton working from left to right in the infield. Evan Ash in behind catching Evan Grills as that one's sent out of play.
It's the adaptations that you need to make when it's this time of year. J.D. Williams usually playing out in center field, like that's his spot, but he's been bumped over to third base with plenty of the Royals roster just heading back to school.
That one's going to be sent into left field. A base hit there for Cardoso as he makes it, hits in 5 of 6.
That's going to bring up a certified majors legend, Cleveland Brownlee, an assistant coach on the team in his 14th year with the majors. Batting 189 this season, 5 doubles, 3 home runs, 13 RBIs, and he's scored 8 runs himself. Not as productive as he used to be, but especially in the IBL, you need a veteran presence like him. The leadership, the knowledge that he brings to this club is truly unmatched.
Absolutely. That was taken at the knees for strike 1. The Atlanta, Georgia native. Now, we talk about Jagan Chanderdat in the lineup, the son of Roop Chanderdat, the field manager. I still remember last season, and I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but Cleveland's boy was taking a few hacks regularly in batting practice in London. He can hit a few bombs like his old man.
Like father, like son. We saw Cleveland taking him out of the park in batting practice today.
On the regular, too. I mean, he's got a really good clean swing. Yes, the average is not where you would want it to be, but throw over to first, not in time. But, you know, with the resume that he's put together, if you look at what he's been able to do, a pair of IBL championships, still has a bit of unfinished business, wants to close off a few unanswered questions to himself after a down year last year. And they're going to call a balk on Evan Grills, it looks like. And Cardoso is going to be awarded second base. One thing that's interesting is that in the last year or so, especially this year, compared to previous seasons, 22, 23, I have been seeing a lot more balks called here in the IBL.
I think it's just that the umpires are a little more aware. A message might have been passed down from the higher-ups.
There's a swing and a miss. Brownlee goes down on strikes. First K of the ball game for Evan Grills. But I think you're absolutely right in that, too, is that, you know what, there's a lot more awareness for some of the rules. And it is Cleveland Jr., Cleveland Brownlee's son. Thank you so much, Alan Ross. But, you know, especially coming into 2024, there were a number of rule changes that were implemented. Some were just one of those rules where you don't get a penalty for breaking it, i.e. the mound visits limit to 6 in a game. Just trying to ease in some of these rules, but, you know, a little bit more of a keen eye on certain things this year. Byron Reichstein takes for ball 1 there, by the way. Talk about another legend. Reichstein's been around the block a few times. Runner's going to go, throw over to third, and he's safe. Cardoso gets 90 feet away from tying this ball game, a stolen base.
Picks up his 14th of the season. That one was close, but, I mean, Cardoso's got wheels. He's got it all. He is going to be an impact player in this league for years to come, and maybe your Rookie of the Year choice isn't so controversial after all.
I'm telling you. The 2-0 grab there by Takamatsu. Liner right to the second baseman.
Shuffled over a few feet to his right, just flashed the leather, and that was a thing of beauty.
Yeah, hard hit baseball, and Tak says, mine. That'll bring up Starling Joseph, the left fielder. Another one of those hit or miss kind of guys. The way he battles in the box this year, you know, a guy like him, he's going to get his hits, but he is also going to strike out as well. 244 average. He has 38 strikeouts. Leads the team in that category. Swing and a miss for strike 1.
But at the same time, he's got 4 doubles, 4 home runs, 23 RBIs. So like you said, it's hit or miss.
Kind of an Aaron Judge, just maybe about 3 inches shorter.
When he's good, and when it's his off night, it's not going too well for him.
The delivery, swing, and protecting it there is Evan Ash, but no balls, 2 strikes. And Grills was pointing over toward the London side. I don't know if he was pointing at a London player or maybe a fan that was on that side.
There are more than a few Majors fans grouped around the dugout, but that looked directed right at the dugout, so
Trying to send a message.
Yeah, tensions are brewing.
It's a big game. The next
Yeah.
3 are going to be huge, including tonight. Delivery to the plate, and that goes down under the knees. You know, again, we talk about it. Just one game separating these two teams. 3 of the final 4 games of the regular season are head-to-head. You know, this is what you want.
Mm-hmm.
This is high-quality playoff-style baseball before we even get to the postseason.
Yeah, this is why we play. This is entertainment right here.
And that one's just going to miss on the inside edge. So 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Starling Joseph. You know, into his 3rd year in the IBL. Career average 306, so not too shabby. Hit 304 last season, hit 351 in his rookie year in 2022. The claps go. Swing, and Joseph gets a piece of it.
Royals Kingdom starting to come alive. Usually takes them a little bit to warm up to get into the swing of things, but they're coming alive early tonight,
Well,
rallying behind.
The sun's still out. The guns are still out. The lights are on. I think once the sun starts to set, it's going to set around 8:24, so we're getting there in about 20 minutes' time. The delivery, and that just misses inside again. Grills, similar location the last couple of pitches.
Yeah, he's been trying to catch him inside. He's thrown fastballs, sliders, anything he can try just to get Starling Joseph to swing at it, but no dice.
Fans in full throat here at Hastings. The 3-2. And that one's going to get by JD. We have a tie ball game. Starling Joseph with an RBI single. A good piece of hitting by Starling, knocking it right down the third base line.
I love J.D. Williams to death, but I think he misread that play. He started moving left, should have gone right, but it's a spur-of-the-moment thing. It's blink and you miss it, because Joseph really got around to that one late, and that one just stayed inside that third base bag.
And now a small discussion happening on the field between the Royals players, trying to figure out how they want to play this next one. Gibson Kresminski will step in here, the Tecumseh native, 26 years of age, in his second year. Yep, switch hitter, throw over to first, and they're going to award Starling Joseph second base, and now Evan Grills is going to have a conversation with Adam DeCare.
I've been keeping an eye on it. I really think it's the leg kick that he gives when he spins towards that first base bag. I think that's what's tripping him up. He's done that every single time. It's the big swing, like he's going to pitch, but then he turns, tosses it to first, and he's done that every single time he's tried to pick off. He got called for one earlier in the first. Now he's getting called for it again, and he really didn't take too kindly to that.
Over at first base, Adam DeCare is the crew chief for tonight. Dean Oberle is behind calling balls and strikes. James Lyles is over at third. The delivery to the plate, that misses upstairs. So now a runner in scoring position for that. So it's going to be interesting how this game shakes up. You know, a couple of balks in this inning now against Evan Grills. The message has been made clear in having that conversation. The 1-0 swing and a miss for a strike. That conversation has happened. He knows what's going wrong. He knows why he's being called for it after the second time. Might be limiting what he's going to be doing here for the rest of this ball game.
It's something you're going to want to keep your eye on as this one progresses. See if he's a little more cautious.
Right down Broadway for a strike. Yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting ball game, and I'm gonna be very curious to see how Alex Springer even plays into this as well. Similar lefty pitcher.
Paints the corners, He's more technical than Heater.
There's strike 3. Second strikeout of the inning, and Evan Grills gets out of it, but 1 run comes in to score. We are tied at 1 here at Hastings as we head to the bottom of the second. Stay with us.
Make some noise.
Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. Josh Garton set to start things off here for the Guelph Royals in the bottom of the second. The Royals opened the scoring in the first inning, but London comes right back with 1 run of their own. We are tied at 1. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman here in the broadcast booth here at Hastings.
We talked about the key for the Royals being getting some pop in those bats once again. You want to talk about a power bat. There is none more powerful in this Royals lineup than the mountain of muscle himself, Josh Garton.
Garton Mania looking to run wild, but there's strike 1. And you talk about the veteran on the other side, Cleveland Brownlee. I think Josh has been around. Actually, Josh only came in 10 years ago. That one's going to be popped up. Shallow left on the other side of the line, and that's going to drop foul. Oh, he got lucky there, did Victor Plaz. He came over to try to make the catch, but he was on the other side of the line when it went off of his glove. So they're going to call that a foul ball, and Josh will get back into the batter's box.
He's 36 years old. He is still shredded. The striations and the vascularities. He is a big dude, but he's called the friendly giant for a reason. He's a great guy, a great leader on this young Royals team, but he's still got plenty of pop in his bat. He was a runner-up in this year's IBL home run contest during All-Star Week, and he's still got some go in him,
But there's strike 3, painting the edge. You talked about it, Josh, where Alex Springer can paint some edges, and he did that one right there, painting a Picasso on the outside for strike 3.
As much of an impact player as Josh Garton has been, his weakness is fastballs. That's his 37th strikeout this season, and I mean, the power's there, but the vision really hasn't been at its best. Hey, who knows? Still plenty of game left to be played.
Hey, certainly hasn't been there as it was in the month of May, where he was the player of the month in the IBL, had 4 dingers, was hitting .750 through the first couple of games. The 1-0 is going to go in for a strike here on Ethan Hammond, the left fielder.
Hammond, the young buck, has really earned himself a spot in this starting lineup. Got his first start, his first game in a Royals uniform on Canada Day as he takes a big hack at that one, 1-2.
Absolutely.
Applies his trade for the Deauville Spartans, NCAA Division II, and based on the last few games, he has really earned it. 5 doubles, 10 RBIs, 16 walks.
That one's
He's a
go
patient hitter.
Yes, indeed. That one's going to go down low into the dirt for ball number 2. And, you know, Hammond from Oakville, just 24 years old. Second team All-Star in 2022. The 2-2 put into left center. On the run, all the way back, and it's going to get to the wall. Lawrence unable to get to it, and that is a stand-up double for Ethan Hammond.
That is the second time tonight that Drew Lawrence has had some troubles reading a ball heading his way. First it was Andy Leader's triple, now it's the double off the bat at Ethan Hammond. He's just kind of lost it in the lights tonight.
I'll blame that one on the double. And with one away, Drew Durst, the DH, will come in. The lefty bat, a Shohei Ohtani of this league, can pitch, can hit.
His pitching has been on point this season, but his batting, it's been a little less so.
He'll swing and get a piece of it for strike one. You know, and another thing that we talk about here is, you know, that battle for third place. And one important factor in this as well is that third versus fourth not only gets you, again, rather the Barnstormers or the Cardinals, but that also puts you in the position where if it is the top four that end up making the semifinals, you avoid Welland, who have been a powerhouse this season. So if you get into fourth place and it's the top four that make it, you're battling the Jackfish in round number 2. If you're in third place, you're going to be battling likely the Barrie Baycats, unless a whole lot of flip-flopping happens in between 2 and 4 in the next few days.
It's the IBL. Anything can happen.
That one's going to be skied high, and Lawrence will not get to it. Yes, he will. And over to third base goes Ethan Hammond.
He was able to glove it, but not able to get the throw back into the infield in time to hold Ethan Hammond there at second. That will bring up the catcher for your Royals tonight, Evan Ash.
And Ash this season, you know, is one of those younger guys that, you know, they were counting on a more regular basis as they just check over to third base to make sure that Hammond is in there safely. But again, another one of those catchers. You bring in Franklin Torres to kind of take the lion's share of starts later on in the season. That's what the Royals were looking for. But Evan Ash still provides that pop in the bat and provides another great secondary option.
He's 21 years old, a sophomore at Mars Hill in NCAA Division II.
That one's going to be delivered outside. 2 balls, no strikes here on Mr. Ash.
169 batting average. He struck out 18 times, but he also has 5 RBIs, 2 doubles, and 2 walks. As that one's inside, 3-0. To borrow a quote from a good buddy, it's the Cam Gibson effect. It's the stats don't really show how good of a player he really is.
That one's going to be put out of play. So 3 balls, 1 strike here on Ash. We are in the bottom of the second inning. Game tied at 1. Runner on third base. Delivery to the plate and good protection there as it will be ball 4. Evan Ash will take a base.
Really great take from Evan Ash. Picks up his 3rd walk of the season. That'll bring up the man they call the road runner. It's Ashton Patterson.
And Ashton Patterson's been around for a little bit. You know, Patterson into his 3rd year in the league, the ex-Guelph Silver Creek from just up the road in Kitchener. Springer with runners on the corners. Delivery painting the inside for strike 1.
Also applies his trade for the local Guelph Griffins.
Yeah, getting closer to that to OUA season. Right around the corner. Kids are almost back in school, just a couple weeks away. Sorry, parents. That one's going to be put into left field. Getting underneath it without having to take much of a step is going to be Starling Joseph. And that'll do it. Head to the 3rd. We're tied at 1 here at Hastings. This is Guelph Royals TV.
for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. We're heading to the third inning here at Hastings Stadium. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman, Evan Grills back on the mound. 6 pitches to get out of the first. He is now up to 31, or rather 30, as we head into this inning. And one thing that was pointed out here was as he was coming out to the mound, he was having a rather animated conversation with one of the umpires. Might have been about those couple of balks that happened in the last inning that were called against him. And then you saw the umpires having a bit of a conference there. Very interesting, to say the very least.
And it's one of those things where as he's walking by, he notices the umps all huddled up and goes out of his way. Steps over and hands were waving. He was getting into it. So obviously still some mixed emotions over those last 2 balk calls. And obviously, like you mentioned, Mark, the umps were having a discussion afterwards. It's only a matter of time before we see the after effects of that.
Chanderdat's going to put that one out of play. And the one thing is, too, you've already called it twice. I don't know if you really change course if you're the umpires. You've already established a bit of consistency there with the way you're going to call that extra step, and
I think
that's another balk,
they
perhaps.
yeah, they just called a third one.
Grills will deliver. That one's going to be knocked over. Takamatsu can't get to it, and a base hit for Chanderdat.
Something that I think may have played into it all is the combo of Majors fans and the London dugout all shouting balk every time they think something's going on with Grill's delivery, his pickoff attempts, anything at all. Just constantly balk, balk.
Well, just take a look at the mannerisms in his delivery, and it's going to be something we're going to keep a closer eye on as this game moves forward. And really, you kind of talked about it as well. It's that twist of the foot, perhaps. The sign comes. Victor Plaz will bat it down, and that'll be foul ball as he tries to bunt it down the first base side.
Hash seemingly willing it to go over the line. He was waving his hands, trying to use the air. I might have seen him trying to blow the ball back over the line.
Well, the baseball's not an NES cartridge. But he sure as heck treated it like it. No balls, 1 strike here on Victor Plaz, who flew out to the right fielder on the first pitch of the ballgame.
Plaz in his 2nd year in the IBL, spent last season with the Barrie Bay Cats. 288 batting average. Heading into tonight's contest, 2 home runs, 20 RBIs, and he's certainly looking to pick up 1 or 2 more here. Runner on first, just an 0-1 count, and no outs here in the top of the 3rd.
Bunt down the line again. That's going to stay fair, and Evan Grills doesn't have a play, but he does over to second, but he gets in safely, does Chanderdat.
That was as close can be. Just a matter of centimeters, millimeters even. That call really could have gone either way. But good job from Chanderdat getting back there in time, and a good read from Grills to pick up that the runner had pretty hefty lead, and the play wasn't even over yet.
On look at Plaz, and just you knew that he was going to bunt. After the first offering, you knew that it was coming, and they're going to step back, and you hear it from the London side yet again, but they're not going to get the call this time. And you can see the home plate umpire, Dean Oberle, having an extended look over at the London side. Grills gets set. The delivery. That's going to be bunted foul. So no balls, one strike here on Drew Lawrence, who hit a single back in the first.
For lack of a better comparison, that's the kind of stern glare that a parent gives a noisy child.
Did you pick up your toys? OCAA bronze medalist with Fanshawe in 2022, Drew Lawrence. Just 21 years old. Bunt right in front of him. Throw over to first and in time. That's Takamatsu who came over to make the play because they had Garton pushed in very much into the infield grass.
Now, I want to talk a second about the London Majors strategy regarding grills. They know that the umps are going to be calling balks tonight, already up to 3 here in the third inning. And I don't know if it's his delivery, his pickoff attempt, the calls from the dugout, but you saw both runners were doing that little hesitation
there was a bit of a stutter step there.
They're trying to get him to attempt a pickoff and in turn draw a balk for them, advance the runners, and reap the benefits.
That one's going to miss down low for ball 1 on Eduardo De Olio. Reached on a fielder's choice. Although you can't really say he reached. It was the end of the inning.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he did. He reached on the fielder's choice and then was picked off on the pickoff attempt. One of the few that have not been called to balk here in this ball game. Grills will get set. Swing and a miss. Evens the count at 1-1.
And now the fans starting to come alive once again. They were silent as the Majors runners just kept advancing base by base, but now the Grills is starting to find his rhythm. The fans are starting to find theirs too. They're getting loud, getting proud for the hometown side.
The 1-1 chopper grabbed there by Morrow. Throw over to first and in time, but they're not going to be able to get Chandler at home, so the London Majors have taken a 2-1 lead.
It was that quick glance from Morrow, kind of realizing that, okay, we can have a really close play at the plate, or we can get the guaranteed out and just take that run. It was a smart choice by the youngster.
So this will bring up Caden Cardoso, who hit his single back in the second. He was awarded second base on a buck and then stole third base on his way around to home.
His 14th stolen base of the season. Said it before, I'll say it again. He's got the wheels, he's got the pop in the bat. All-around athlete. I can't believe this is just his rookie year. He's playing like a seasoned vet.
Yeah, Cardoso, well, he's quite the talent, that is for sure. The delivery to the plate for a strike. The Abbotsford, BC native, 24 years of age. Grew up actually in Alberta. Runner just over on third base, that is Victor Plaz. The 1-1. That's going to be sent foul. Cardoso also played for Antelope Valley in the NAIA in the 2023 season. Led the California Pacific Athletic Conference with 16 home runs. Had an .870 slugging percentage. And now we're going to have a conference on the mound. James Lyles immediately comes in to
keep an eye on things.
Check on things, yeah.
Monitor the discussion.
Make sure everything is on the up and ups here.
Yeah. This is a family establishment. Making sure there's no foul language being tossed around, directed towards anyone.
And they're not going to call it as a mound visit, as it was waved off by Lyles on his way back over to third. So 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Cardoso with 2 away. So it might have been more of just a conference on positioning on the infield. The delivery, and just missing on the outside. And the fans not thrilled with that one.
really not pleased with Oberle. And I mean, that did look like it could have gone either way, but hey, there's a reason we're up here in the booth and Oberle's down there making the calls, pardon me.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes, Plas straddling third base. The 2-2, and that's going to be hit just over the glove of Garton. And an RBI single, make it 3-1 London.
Cardoso picking up his 28th ribeye of the season, and London's really picking up steam now. Grills, he was starting to find his groove, though. Really painting the corners. That fastball has been working for him, as has the slider. Just like Springer, he's a technical pitcher, not a flamethrower. But we'll see what he can do against Cleveland Brownlee, who struck out his first time up.
Yes, Brownlee, that average, as we talked about before, just around 189. Not too far long ago, a guy that was among the league leaders. That one's going to be popped up. Garton getting over. Gets underneath it in foul territory, and he will make the catch. That'll retire Brownlee and retire the side. But another 2 runs coming to score. Make it 3-1 London as we go to break. Bottom of the third upcoming. Stay Well, welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman, as we get set for the bottom of the third, and it's quickly starting to become a theme here in this ball game. The balk calls, call it the balk game here so far, as between innings, Dino Ramel was having a conversation. That one's going to be lined down the line. Andy Leader puts that one all the way near the fence. He's circling around for 2. That'll be a double for Andy.
He's going for 3.
Oh, he is going for 3. Slide into third, and he is out. So give him the double, but he's going to get caught over at third. Andy trying to stretch it out, and that's one of those bad outs that you don't like to see.
I mean, you can't blame him. He had a full head of steam. He was going. He hit the nos as he was rounding second base. But I don't know if that's a wise decision by him. Now it's 1 out already. 1 pitch. That's all it took. And already an out here in the bottom of the third. And nothing to show for it for the Royals.
So officially call it a 7-6-5 putout over at third base for those scoring at home. 1-0 count here now on Connor Morrow, who hit a sac fly and drove Leader home in the first. That one's going to paint the outside edge for a strike. Well, Leader a single and a home run away from the cycle, if there's anything to take away from that. The 1-1, and that's going to bounce up over the glove of Eduardo Olio.
With the bat he's been swinging tonight, I don't want to jinx anything, but there's a good possibility that he could at the very least go 3 for 4 out of that cycle. I mean, with the way his season's been going, he really wants to turn things around.
That one's going to get underneath the glove of Victor Plas. A base hit for Connor Morrow. A hard hit ball. You got to give him the single on that one. So a 1-out hit for Mr. Morrow, and that'll bring up J.D. Williams.
Morrow down there at first. Not a traditional speedster, but I mean, when he turns it on, he's got unmatched agility. 2 stolen bases so far this season.
Well, you need to have a bit of agility if you're going to be a shortstop. That one's going to be put out of play.
You would hope so.
That ability to not only be a guy that, can utilize a bit of speed to get across on the diamond in the infield, but also have that vision and that awareness too.
You can definitely say that Morrow's got all of those and more as he evades the pickoff attempt.
So Alex Springer back on the hill here. He's looking quite well in his first start of the season. And again, just 22 years of age. Doesn't have to get those minimum pitcher requirements to make the postseason, as that's going to be popped up into shallow center. Getting over to make the catch, though, is Drew Lawrence, and he'll throw it back into the infield.
J.D. Williams made some solid contact that had some pop behind it, but just not enough to evade the glove of Drew Lawrence. So that'll bring up Garrett Takamatsu, second baseman tonight for the Royals.
The longtime Leaf, of course, came in and joined his former Ontario Blue Jay mate in Dino Ramel. And he's been having a pretty solid season himself, the North York native. And that's just going to miss on the outside. It looks like Springer is working that outside quite well. Just missed on that one, but he's been finding that outside edge more often than not.
You want to talk about a tale of 2 pitchers. Springer going for the outside edge. Grills, he's favoring that inside edge a bit more.
That one's going to be delivered high and deep, but into foul territory. But you're absolutely right. Definitely a tale of 2 pitchers, although we have been seeing Grills at times go to that outside. But definitely more favorable towards the inside, trying to get guys off of the bag.
Both lefty technicians, not flamethrowers, not trying to pull any tricks.
The runner's going to go, throw in a second. That's going to get into the outfield. Circling around, going to third is Morrow, and he will get in safely. So Connor Morrow goes from first to third, the stolen base to second, and the throwing error allows him to advance over another 90 feet.
And that is what I was talking about with that subtle agility. I mean, a shortstop, you got to have it, but despite those 2 stolen bases not really showing just how fast he can be, there is your video footage.
So 1 ball, 2 strikes here on Takamatsu. The delivery, swing and a miss, they got him. So the stolen bag goes for naught. Morrow is stranded. We remain 3-1 here at Hastings Stadium as we go to break. The top of the 4th upcoming here on Guelph Royals TV. Oh, welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. We're live at Hastings Stadium under the lights. The sun just about to go down. The Guelph Royals and the London Majors getting set here for the second third of this ball game. Evan Grill's on the hill. It's 3-1 Majors, and that's going to be curved right in there for strike one on Byron Reichstein.
That one broke just at the last second. Nasty, nasty slider as Grills gets set to deliver the 0-1.
The delivery, chopper, grabbed there by Garten. He's going to try to beat him to the bag, and he just gets ahead. And that'll be a 3 unassisted on Reichstein.
Despite his size, Garten is elusively speedy. So impressive, I can't even say anything about it.
Words are hard, my friend. So is math.
Could not agree more.
That's why we took this profession. Starling Joseph is the batter now. The single he hit back in the second put him on base, but he was later stranded. The delivery, swing and a miss. Joseph, as mentioned, one of the league leaders when it comes to strikeouts. In fact, he is 6th in the IBL in that category, make it tied for 5th. 38 times he has struck out. The 0-1 well inside and getting away from everybody there. It changed direction, but don't call him George Springer.
That did look like it came so close to clipping Joseph there, but doesn't look too shaken up.
No, he got out of the way quite nicely there. Quicker than a hiccup. 1 ball, 1 strike. Grills, the delivery. Swing and a miss for strike 2. Joseph Kresminski is in the on-deck circle. Grills waiting for the sign here from Ash. Going to see where Ash sets up. Again, you've been saying it. Been more set up on the inside. That was going to go right down Broadway for strike 3.
Right up the middle, and Joseph, all he could do was stop and stare. That's going to bring up the shortstop, Gibson Kresminski.
So make it 39 Ks for Starling Joseph, now alone in 5th place when it comes to strikeouts among IBL hitters this season.
Fastball has not been kind to him.
No, it has not. Gibson Kresminski now up.
Yet another switch hitter on this London Majors roster.
That one's well inside, gets out of the way, and Grills, again, pushing him over. You know, the utility player, switch hitter, as you talked about, a Canisius College alum. Took 2023 off, but hungry for some more baseball. And now there's a conversation happening down the line between Dean Oberle and the first base coach for London. I think he's voicing his displeasure, saying that another balk has possibly occurred, and he is not thrilled that it's not being called. And now there's going to be a conference here between the 3 umpires. This has been an interesting ball game, to say the very least.
I mean, London, it is very clear their strategy is to try and draw balks. They've studied, they've put in the hours, and they've done their homework on Grills to try and understand his delivery, that little leg kick and that spin when he tries to do pickoffs. And
now they're pointing to both dugouts, issuing warnings. So a warning has been issued to both sides here.
And this one could get ugly soon. Tensions just have been brewing ever since that first balk call, ever since those first few warning glances from Oberle towards the Majors dugout.
Think about this, partner. These teams still got to battle twice on Friday and Saturday.
Ooh, it is going to be good.
In London on Friday night. Get your tickets now at Labatt Park and then come right back on here on Saturday night. That one's a good painting of the outside for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike here on Kresminski.
You can't ask for a better way to close out the home season here at Hastings than with a rematch against what is turning into almost a mini rivalry here with the Majors.
Well, can you imagine if these guys push Barry? It won't happen, but imagine
No.
if you push Barry down the fourth and you have these two in a best of 5. Good protection there. Ash keeps it in front of him.
Obviously, the attention of the league is on Welland, but it's those teams in those lower down spots that are really cranking up the heat.
So 2 balls, 2 strikes. Kresminski struck out back in the second. The delivery, and that's going to paint the inside for strike 3. Another K for Evan Grills. He's a grillin', but the Royals trail this one by a score of 3-1 as we go to break. Stay with us. This is Guelph Royals TV. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. Mark Pare and Josh Alderman here in the booth. Bottom of the 4th upcoming here. The Royals trailing the London Majors by a score of 3-1. Very interesting ball game. Both dugouts have been issued warnings already. Feels like a playoff series, that's for sure. First of 3 games in the next 4 days as Garton will crank that one into center field.
He likes what he sees. He's not wasting any time at all. Smacks that run right into shallow center, and now we got a runner aboard for the young buck himself, Ethan Hammond.
And Hammond hit a double back in the 2nd inning. It was a good hit ball, and now he's got a guy on first to try to drive around, and looked like the umpire over at first base was waving off something, but he looks like he was just holding up play that's so Garton can get set. And now Springer will get a new baseball here. And Springer's had a pretty good ball game here so far. Just 42 pitches to get through 3.
He's been quick. He's been efficient. He's not really wasting too much time in between deliveries. He's been right to the point. He's been painting the corners.
Ooh, trying to bunt there was Hammond, but he pulls back. That'll be strike 1.
We want to talk about another young player with a bright future here in the Royal City. Ethan Hammond, he's been killing his business as of late. 320 average heading into tonight's game, 5 doubles, 10 RBIs, and the aforementioned 16 walks. He's a patient hitter.
Ooh, grabbed there by Chanderdat, but he's unable to get control. That's going to be an error, I would imagine, as advancing over to first is Hammond.
So, of course, as soon as I mention he's a patient hitter, just clobbers that one, bounces off the glove of the second baseman, Chanderdat. Really, really great stuff from Hammond as of late.
And let's be honest, you could have called that either way. It's a hard hit ball, but if you're Chanderdat, you're fielding that. It goes in and out of the glove, and the way it carried out of the glove and went about 20 feet in front of him. That one's going to be ball one here on Drew Durst. But the way that ball carried over in front of the bag to second base, it gave nobody any opportunities.
To quote a wise man, that ball looks like it took a Hastings hop. Check swing there.
Strike one. So 1-1 count here on Drew. Who is that wise man?
I'm not quite sure, but I have heard he is the heart and soul of the IBL. Of course, I'm talking about none other than Neil Sriwastava, our producer for tonight's game. Welcome back, buddy.
And now the fans are getting on the umpire trying to call for a balk on Springer. Swing and a miss for strike number 2. There must be a sale on chickens because there's been a lot of balk here at the ballpark tonight, at least according to the fans' eyes.
Some farm out there in Guelph left the coop open.
The 1-2, and that coop is going to be blown open there. A runner's going to come around, but they are not going to score him. The bases are loaded with that single from Drew Durst. And that'll bring up Evan Ash. And now we're going to get a mound visit.
No one's up in the Majors bullpen just yet, so it seems like it's just going to be a pep talk.
Try to settle this situation down. The Majors, with the bases loaded, are only giving up an average of 209 to the opponents. Meantime, for the Guelph Royals, well, for themselves, when the bases are loaded, they have a 290 average. Our back end for stats say that there have only been one Grand Slam home run for the Royals this year, but there have been, in fact, 3 home runs. And they are going to charge a mound visit to the Royals here.
Now, you want to talk about a stat battle that is going to matter. It's fielding. That's been a big issue for the Majors here tonight, and that's something the Royals have excelled at. Majors got the second worst fielding percentage in the league with .959. They've given up 57 errors heading into tonight's contest.
Chopper there. Krasminski will field it. He'll get the one over to first and not in time. A runner will come in to score to make it 3-2. So a good job there by Krasminski, recognizing the play over at second was going to turn that one into a routine double play, but the throw not quick enough over to first.
Ash turned on the Jets, beat that one out. And that's going to bring up the Roadrunner, Ashton Patterson. Runners on the corners, just one out here in the bottom of the 4th.
So call that a fielder's choice on Evan Ash. The delivery well inside. Ashton saw that one come well inside. Looked cool as a cucumber, sticking with it in his positioning there in the batter's box. The 1-0 popped up. Playable in shallow left field. Play is made by Starling Joseph, and he will keep everybody on base.
And now this is where things get interesting. So with Patterson retired, that flips it over to the top of the order. It's Andy Leader and another mound visit. I mean, with the way Leader's been swinging the bat,
there's a little bit of
pep
action.
talk.
I think we're going to get a new pitcher into the ball game. I do see somebody walking this way. Is the ball coming out?
Yep.
Yes, it will. The hand shakes, and we'll have a new pitcher coming into the ball game here for the London Majors. Runners on the corners with 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th. Stay with us. This is Guelph Royals TV. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. Daniel Gore comes into the ball game here, the righty, subbing in for the lefty Alex Springer. Andy Leader will now come into the batter's box with 2 away here in the bottom of the 4th.
Gore in his second year with the majors, 6.09 ERA. He's been mostly used out of the pen. 20.2 innings pitched, 23 strikeouts, 13 walks, and 25 hits given up.
That one's going to be flared. Is it going to drop? Yes, it will. Leader circling around. It goes into a pocket, and Leader will get around to second. We have a tie ball game, 3-all here at Hastings.
For lack of a better term, and pun 100% intended, you want to talk about someone who's leading the way tonight. Andy Leader, I mean, have yourself a day. He's had struggles ever since coming here to the Royal City, but tonight, tonight might be the turning point he has really needed.
Well, he started well. The first 3 games, he had a collection of hits since the move over from the Kitchener Panthers organization, but you're right. There was a big gap of time where he was struggling to get a hit. He was struggling to get on base in general. And that one's going to cross and just miss inside, rather, for ball 1. But you bring him in also for that defensive awareness out in right field. So you keep the bat in his hand, but you drop him down in the lineup.
He's not a 3-time All-Star for nothing.
Swing and a miss for strike 1. I've known Andy for years, and the way he was able to turn after the pandemic, just upping his average year after year after year, 2-time second-team All-Star, improved that to a first-team All-Star nod last season. That one's going to miss outside. This is what you get. Yes, you trade away a Daniel Garcia. Yes, you trade away a Jorge De La Cruz in order to bring him in. But this is an all-star caliber guy that you're putting the bat into his hand, and when he gets cooking, he gets a cooking. The 2-1, and that's going to go right across for a strike here on Connor Morrow, who has a single his last time up.
You want to talk about a proven talent. You want to talk about established names here in the IBL. Andy Leader is up there. No matter the price, it was worth it for the Royals.
The 2-0, and that'll just miss. It gets in front of DeOlio, goes into the infield grass, but that'll be it. Count now 3-2. Runners will be off on the pitch here with 2 away. A big inning here for the Royals as they erase a 3-1 deficit to tie this game at 3 and looking for more.
It was Morrow's sac fly that got things started for the Royals. See if he can follow it up with something big here.
Couple of nods there from Daniel Gore. Taking his time, and the call is going to be made as Connor Morrow very wisely just calls for time. That was an extended period of time in between pitches for Daniel Gore.
He's a young guy, but that's a veteran move by Connor Morrow, and if you're any pitcher, that's going to shake you up.
Gore will get set. Still waiting. Setting up outside is DeOlio. The 3-2 is going to be cued off the end of the bat into foul territory.
The mind games are in full swing here in the bottom of the 4th.
We are playing chess here in Guelph.
Both teams doing what they can to earn just the slightest advantage, and who can blame them? This has got the intensity of a playoff series.
Well, Connor Morrow has been around the block a number of times here. The delivery off the end of the bat in the infield. Chanderdat fields it over to first in time. So the Royals will get a pair, but they strand a pair. It is 3-all as we head to the 5th here at Hastings. Stay with us. This is Guelph Royals TV. And welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. To the top of the 5th we go. Evan Grill still on the hill. It'll be Jagan Chanderdat, Victor Plaz, and Drew Lawrence due up for the London Majors. We are 3-all. What a ball game we have had here tonight. All 174 of you watching on the live stream. Glad you can join us. That one's going to be hit toward Takamatsu, and he'll get it over to first in time. That'll retire Chanderdat. And with the pitch count where it is, Josh, you need those quick outs. 56 pitches for Evan Grills coming into this inning.
I mean, he had that pretty solid start in the first. Just 6 pitches was all he needed. And then things really blew up in the second and the third. He's really settled into a groove, and what can you say other than the grill has been cooking tonight?
Natural gas, propane, wood,
charcoal.
Ooh. That one's going to go right across for a strike. I thought you'd be a propane and propane accessories kind of guy.
Well, can't deny the classics.
I'll tell you what. Evan Grills is having a pretty good game. The 0-1 swing and just getting it off the end. There is Victor Plaz.
But hey, let me talk to you. Evan Grills is having himself quite the night. He's painting the corners with efficiency. He's favoring that inside lane. But when he goes outside, it's game over.
Oh, yeah. The 0-2 checked. And that's going to go across for a strike. And another K for Evan Grills. So 2 straight outs. Evan Grills has now retired his last 6 batters.
It took him a little bit of time, but he's finally settled into his rhythm.
I think it's the sun.
It's the sun.
The delivery right at the knees for a strike on Drew Lawrence. The grill comes out at night. He's been doing a masterful job in the last couple of innings. And that's going to paint the outside edge. Really finding his groove, like you said, and he's working all the quadrants at the same time.
Call him a waiter because he is serving tonight. The 0-2.
Here it comes, swing and a miss. Another 3-up, 3-down inning. Another pair of Ks for the Grill Master. It's 3-3 heading to the bottom of the 5th. Stay with us. This is Guelph Royals TV. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman here in the broadcast booth. J.D. Williams getting set to bat here for the Guelph Royals, taking on Daniel Gore, who took over for the starting Alex Springer. Springer going 3 2/3, gave up 3 runs, 2 of them earned off of 7 hits, struck out 3, walked 1 in 18 batters faced, as that one misses to the outside for ball number 1.
For a guy who's mostly been used as a reliever this season, Springer put on a good show tonight. He's got a bright future ahead of him, but he did give up those 3 runs, and the call was made to the bullpen.
Good pitch there from Gore as he picks the upstairs corner.
Gore seems to be liking his breaking ball tonight. He's been throwing sliders, curveballs, everything in between.
The 0-1 just missing inside. And you know, when you start Springer, you start to think about, okay, what's this rotation going to look like? Of course, both teams are already in the postseason. This is the time of the year where you're not only pitching to try to get victories, but you're also setting up your rotation for the postseason. The 2-1 just missing inside. Of course, we saw Braden Farrington pitch 5 innings on Tuesday. That being yesterday, by the way. In that 5-4 victory in Hamilton. That one's going to miss outside, and JD will get on base for the second time, this time via the free pass.
Number 4, Darren Takamatsu.
And that kind of mindset isn't just limited to the starting rotation. It's also your relievers, who you're going to bring in after those starters come playoff time. I mean, here in Guelph, we got the deadly duo, the Terror Twins, Jacob Cush and Kyle Thomas. You can't beat them, but other teams, they're trying to build up that 1-2 punch, trying to see even later in the innings who can pick up the slack in the latter half of the game.
Well, you even got a Jacob Cush who not only can come out of the pen, but also a great starter in his own right, too. He can go that length. He can get 6, 7, sometimes go 8 innings for you. I mean, that's a guy that's, you know, among the best pitchers in the IBL. No balls, 1 strike here on Garrett Takamatsu. A pair of strikeouts here tonight. The delivery, and that's going to go off the glove. A wild pitch will allow JD to advance over to second base. Is he thinking about third? No, he's just going to go back.
You can see the big smile on his face as he jogged around.
He was thinking about it.
Yeah, the thought crossed his mind, but he wasn't going to cross too far over the bag. He'll stay at second, and it's going to be a 1-1 count against Takamatsu.
Well, it's that old adage, right? The worst outs are those outs at third, if it's the first or the third out. Gore will get set, step off the rubber, and he'll get an extra second to check himself.
Takamatsu taking a second of his own as the fans, you can hear scattered chants of "Let's go Garrett," "Let's go Royals."
It's that rivalry. You got to love it. Just about an hour and a half down the road. Holds off on the swing. Good job there by Takamatsu. Good eye. So 2 balls, 1 strike. Runner on second base.
Two teams close, not just in terms of distance from one another, but also third and fourth spots. Royals just 1 game back of the majors, and like we mentioned before, it's a 3-game series. In essence, it's a 3-game series.
And then you look beyond these next 3 games. You go into Sunday. Guelph's in Brantford. London is in Kitchener. So 2 teams that have struggled, but 2 teams that will also give you a run for your money if you're not careful. So even if you get through this 3-game set and the standings are what the standings are, you still need that extra win. It's not going to be easy on the last game of the regular season.
That's what makes the IBL just so much fun.
That one's going to miss well outside into the dirt. Full count here on Garrett. Guelph hitting .293 with runners in scoring position this season. 10 home runs. Not really a home run type of team are the Royals. Just 28 homers on the year. That's 6th in the league. Although a lot better than last year.
Definitely the improvements are there.
That one's going to be fouled off.
They like to do their talking inside the ballpark.
Well, the one thing, too, with those home runs, a lot of them came in the early going. We thought that the Royals were going to pass their total from last season by the time July 1st hit. Alas, here we are. Yes, you've passed that amount. I believe they only had 18 homers last year. Check over at second base. The delivery. That one's going to be put up into right field, and getting underneath it to make the catch is Byron Reichstein.
J.D. Williams not going to chance it. He's pretty comfortable out there at second. But you know what that means. It's the mania. It is Josh Garden. It is the mountain of muscle. And now a mound discussion. I mean, someone with the pop, the power of the friendly giant, Josh Garden. You want to be careful with your placement, especially with Gore, who likes to throw sliders, who likes to throw curveballs, stuff that Garden just eats up.
Well, we'll see what the approach is going to be here. Garden, to his credit, this season, a .271 average, 7 home runs, but, after that hot start, does not have a home run since he had a 2-home run game on June 19th in Toronto, part of that 15-12 victory over the Maple Leafs. So it's been a while since Garden Mania ran wild over the fence. Gore will get the sign here, that jolly green giant bat in the hands of Garden, and that'll just miss on the outside for ball 1.
While the long ball may not have been working for him, his hitting has become a lot more efficient, a lot more clean. Yes, fastballs are his weakness. Shouldn't have said that out loud on the air. Other teams,
the runner's going to go, and no throw over to third. That is going to be a strike on the inside edge, but J.D. Williams will get himself another 90 feet away.
Yeah, Garden, 26 RBIs. Most of them coming from inside the park, and like we just saw, J.D. Williams picking up his 15th steal of the season.
Well, it helps that Gore's back is to him, and the step that he got on it. The 1-1 inside, and that's a strike. And Garden not too thrilled as he will get reset here.
Yeah, tries his best to sell it, but that's not going to work for Oberle, brother.
1 ball, 2 strikes. And inside for strike 3. Garden will get called. And he's just going to walk off. That strike zone, if anything, consistent at that at-bat as Gore gets Garden on a whole lot of inside pitches.
Garden, I mean, just the look on his face. He's not angry, just disappointed. Shaking his head as he heads back to the dugout. He's in a similar spot to Andy Leader where you need a game kind of like this one, a big game, big pressure situation, and that can spur you into a night that can turn your season around. Unable to put bat to ball there.
And here's Ethan Hammond now taking that one right down the heart of the plate for a strike. Well, if anything, the strike zone for Dean Oberle has been consistent throughout the ball game.
If nothing else, he's been fair.
Swing and a miss for strike 2. Yes, the fans may not approve of those inside pitches. They may not like that the strike zone, it might be a little bit more expanded to their liking, but at the very least, Oberle's been calling it right down the middle throughout that ball game. A strike there for Guelph is going to be a strike there for London. We have seen that in this game.
It's tit for tat. It's one for the other, and it has been fairly called for both sides.
D'Olio and Gore thought that they were going to walk off the field with strike 3, but that one just under the knees.
And the Oscar goes to London, really trying to sell that pitch as a strike, but that's not happening. So it's a 1-2 count against Hammond. Gore gets set.
Let's take a look, see what he can do here. The delay, the pitch, and strike 3 on the outside edge. Hammond can't believe it, and he throws the bat in disgust. That'll do it here for the 5th. We are tied at 3 as we head to inning number 6 here at Hastings. The fans, the kiddies, running the bases. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. To the 6th inning we go here at Hastings. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman here in the broadcast booth. Evan Grills, 63 pitches into this ball game, steps back onto the mound for his 6th inning of work. 46 for strikes out of his 63. That is a 73% strike zone percentage. He's been pretty consistent here tonight.
He has been wheeling and dealing, painting the corners like it's nobody's business. And I mean, when you have a 31-year-old pitcher still in his prime with plenty of affiliated ball experience, you want to put him in these kinds of situations, these kinds of games where so much is on the line.
First 2 pitches delivered just under the knees of Eduardo de Olio. 2 balls, no strikes, trying to paint that downstairs of the zone, but just not getting the calls there. The 2-0. Swing and a miss. Eduardo with a big home run cut for that one. 2 balls, 1 strike. And you're absolutely right. I mean, Houston Astros, 10th round pick in 2010, played AAA in 2016. Colorado signed in 2019, played AAA ball in 2019 as well. As it is 3 balls, 1 strike, and the fans are getting on Dean Oberle.
They are letting Oberle hear it tonight.
The 3-1, that's going to be put out of play. Grills, the lefty from Whitby. Of course, in his 2nd IBL season. His first year, he was a 16-year-old, a young buck with the Oshawa Dodgers back in 2009. The 3-2. Another one put out of play. You remember where you were in 2009?
Well, I think I was just about to start kindergarten, so I don't remember too much. You?
All right. I was 2 years out of high school. I was in college. I was plying my trade, much like Grills is plying his trade here. In on the hands in the infield, and that gets under JD's glove, and into the outfield it goes. Eduardo will get on, and that'll bring up Caden Cardoso.
JD is an integral part of this team, but the glove has been failing him the last few games. I mean, we saw in last Saturday's game against the Cardinals, he made a costly error that really kicked things off for the Cardinals, that really allowed them to score a lot of runs in that inning. I believe it was the second or third.
It was, yeah, that was a 4-run third inning for the Cardinals, part of that 6-1 decision on August 10th. Jacob Cush, in his last appearance, in fact, in that one, made 5 innings. Cardoso puts that one high and deep in the left field. Playable for Ethan Hammond. He'll come over to make the catch. So one away for Cleveland Brownlee. And that ball went a long way over, and Hammond was able to read that one off the bat very well.
Good vision from the young kid. He has really proved himself to be IBL caliber talent. You love to see it, honestly.
You really do. You know, that second team All-Star selection in 2022 wasn't for nothing. Well, Cleveland Brownlee, he's a multi-time accolade earner here in the IBL, as he'll foul that one off. And a second team All-Star in 2018. First team All-Star as part of that torrid 2022 that he had. My goodness, what a season he had there. Yes, it's tailed off the last couple of years, but that 335 average, followed it up with a 273 average in the playoffs, en route to that second straight IBL title. Swing, and that one's going to get by J.D. Williams. Circling around second, here comes DeOlio into third, and he'll get in there sliding.
Comes up with a safe signal of his own, just about clocked Williams in the face.
So Brownlee with his first hit of the ball game. It's a single for the big one from Atlanta, Georgia.
And while this is Royals TV, we got to give Brownlee his due. Wasn't the best start to his night, but now
hey, we may get paid by the Royals, but we call this one as down the middle as we possibly can. We are just fans of baseball here in this broadcast booth.
You're getting paid?
Yeah, pizza.
Of course.
That's the old adage in broadcasting. You get paid in pizza. And then you start getting the real money. That one misses outside and a little bit low for ball one here on Byron Reichstein.
Who needs a pay stub when you got a front row seat to such entertaining action?
And pepperoni.
And, oh, yeah. Can't forget that.
Absolutely. The 1-0. And that one's just going to miss on the inside. 2-0 here on Reichstein. Lined out to Takamatsu. Back in the second. Retired on the 3 unassisted putout in the fourth.
Grills gets set. The 2-0.
The delivery, and that's going to be popped up and out of play. Reichstein, the St. Thomas native, in his 12th year in the IBL. Playoff MVP back in 2021. First of 2 championships for the London Majors. 14 championships in their history. Of course, celebrating their centennial year this year. The delivery, and that paints the outside for a strike. Yes, championships in 1925, 36, 37, 43, 44, and 45. Quite the streak. Went all the way up to 51, won a few more championships in the late 40s to 50s. Had that lull between 75 and 2021. But a storied history and definitely celebrated in the Forest City all throughout this regular season.
You want to talk about history, you want to talk about longevity. You got Reichstein, you got Brownlee, both on the field right now. 2 legends of not just London, but the IBL itself, as Reichstein fouls that one back to stay alive.
Yes, 2 absolute bona fide. I believe they have a Hall of Fame in the IBL. Most teams have their own Hall of Fames. They have their Wall of Fames, but they need to start building an IBL Hall of Fame. Need a little bit of extra coin to do that, but The delivery popped up and out of play yet again. Reichstein really extending this at bat. You know, maybe you put that next to the Canadian Baseball Hall of Fame over there in St. Mary's. And I've always been of the ilk, Josh, about with the IBL All-Star Game. You know, I've talked about it for the last couple of years. Yes, it was nice to see it in Welland at the time of year that it was, but you would like to maybe see a neutral site game for an All-Star game during during Hall of Fame weekend. Strike 3. 2 away here in the 6th.
So many great ballparks up and down, not just this province, but the country itself. Plenty of neutral venues, and the Hall of Fame, they do have a ballpark.
They have a ballpark right in the same property.
Beautiful.
Have an IBL All-Star game right there during Hall of Fame weekend. Just saying.
Yeah, we're not saying, but we're just saying.
It would be. But again, that also comes down to pushing Hall of Fame weekend up a little bit more, because you can't really gauge a true all-star in the first few weeks of a season, because that Hall of Fame weekend usually falls in the middle of June, and you're only about 3-4 weeks deep into the season in the IBL. Starling Joseph, the batter, as that one misses inside.
Joseph's had a couple defensive snags. Pretty good work out there in left field, but the bat not quite heating up as much as his glove has been here tonight.
Grills will get set. Ash setting up more outside. Chopper, grab there, hops off of Williams. 1 run will come in to score, and the throw is going to go all the way into right field. And a runner will come around over to third base. Eduardo De Olio comes in to score. Brownlee over to third, and the London Majors have retaken the lead.
A calamity of errors, and you got to feel bad for J.D. Williams. I mean, his bat obviously heating up, his wheels, some of the best in the IBL, but his glove, his fielding just really hasn't been there as of late. It's a shame to see from someone who's just usually so consistent. Third base may not be his natural spot on the field. He adapted well last night, but tonight he's looking less than comfortable.
The delivery to the plate, Krasminski will foul that one back. Well, and that's why you have substitutions. What you might see is a Patterson coming out of the game and you put JD back out in center field, or you just sub JD altogether, but you're taking the bat out of his hand. So I'd imagine what you would do is you put him out into center field, keep the bat in his hand, deliver it to the plate for a strike, and then get a substitution in there, particularly if it's a late game situation. If he's just not feeling it in the infield, see if he can field it in the outfield, where, of course, he is natural.
That would be the betting man's choice.
Are you a betting man?
I'm not legally allowed to say that.
The 0-2, swing and a miss for strike 3. Another pair of Ks for Evan Grills this inning. We're going to head to break. Bottom of the 6th upcoming. It is London 4, Guelph 3. We'll be back after this. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. To the bottom of the 6th we go here at Hastings Stadium. Mark Pare and Josh Alderman here with you, taking you through this heated battle between the Royals and the Majors. We have been going back and forth and to and fro, and away we go here with the bottom of the order due up. Durst, Ash, and Patterson for the Royals taking on Daniel Gore. The delivery, and that's going to miss for ball 1.
It may be the bottom of the order, but they have provided plenty of pop here tonight. Of course, Patterson, Ash helped get the Royals 2-run inning going.
There's a big swing and a miss.
Back in the bottom of the 4th, Drew Durst, one of a kind. He's a unicorn here in the IBL, a relief pitcher, a designated hitter. The Royals' resident Shohei Ohtani
gets a piece of that one. And he's a big, big body, too. Drew Durst, 6'7", 230 pounds.
You can't teach that.
No, you cannot. Plays collegiately at Cameron University over in Lawton, Oklahoma. Big Tex, they call him around here, I think. The 1-2, that one's well outside.
One would assume.
Well, he is from Texas, and he's a big man, so Big Tex kind of fits naturally.
Yeah, it just makes sense.
I'm sure he's been called Big Tex at one point outside of Texas.
Out there.
Swing and a miss, strike 3, and Durst will go down swinging for the first time tonight.
Now to bring up the catcher, Evan Ash.
The catcher, number 23, Evan.
So again, if you like this action, be sure to hit that like button, hit subscribe. You can get your notification anytime we're on the air here at Hastings Stadium, or anytime some of that glorious Guelph Royals content enters our YouTube page, as Evan Ash will put that one out of play. That includes Saturday, when these two teams meet again. Final home game of the regular season for the Guelph Royals, Saturday nights.
And if you thought this game was going to be competitive, was going to be intense, the pressure will be on Saturday. And I mean, the way this one has been going, it's almost the trailer before the real movie gets started on Saturday. Not to discredit this game, it has been absolutely amazing so far.
Well, they've already put on their slippers. They're ready for the dance, but they want to make sure they get into a prime position for said dance. The 0-2 to Evan Ash, and strike 3. 4 straight strikeouts for Daniel Gore.
Daniel Gore, he is waltzing himself into a pretty solid outing. We weren't really expecting much based on his stats, based on the fact that he has been rough coming out of the bullpen, based on the fact that the Royals seem to be getting all of his sliders, his curveballs, his changeups almost immediately after he came into the game, but they say time heals all wounds. It really helped him settle in to shake off the dust, get back up on his feet, and really find his rhythm.
Well, he's only given up the one hit. He has walked one, and squaring up the bunt there was Patterson, but he pulls back. Those 4 strikeouts, the only Ks on the game for Mr. Gore. He's come on nicely in relief of Alex Springer. Still just a 1-run ball game here, though. The 1-0. And that's going to paint the inside for a strike. That inside strike call yet again.
At the very least, Dean Oberle has been consistent with what he's calling. You mentioned it before, Mark. The best way to call it is he's consistently inconsistent. Those calls, they may not be what the fans think are strikes and balls, but he has been calling it evenly for both sides.
It's a wider strike, so to say the very least, and that one's definitely not going to be called a strike, because pirouetting out of the way there is Mr. Patterson. And consistently inconsistent might not even be a fair word in the sense with Dean and his strike zone. It's consistent, but it's a little bit wider to the fans' liking. Chopper in the infield. That gets by Chanderdat, and getting on base there with 2 away is Mr. Patterson.
If you're the Royals and you got this guy, Andy Leader, coming up to bat. You want someone like Ashton Patterson on base. You want a guy with wheels, with that unmatched agility that Ashton Patterson can't offer. He's called the Roadrunner for a reason. And you got to imagine anything that drops into the outfield, Patterson is going for 2, 3, maybe even home.
Well, Andy Leader coming into tonight with a 223 average, 21 hits, 5 of them have been for extra base hits. He's got 3 extra base hits here tonight.
2 doubles and a triple, and he is just looking to continue his good run of form.
That one misses inside as Leader steps out of the way. Again, hit that triple back in the first, hit the double in the third, but thought he could stretch it out into a triple and was tagged out on a 7.65 putout.
He had momentum behind him, but pressed his luck a little too far.
Throw over to first, not in time. Trying that quick play, that backdoor put out over at first, but Patterson slides in and keeps himself safe.
He had a hefty lead over there at first, and especially with Gore's back turned to him, he could take a couple more steps than he would usually if he was facing off against a lefty like Springer, but it's that agility that I mentioned, that first step that allowed him to get back just in time.
1 ball, 1 strike on Leader. That one's going to miss outside. Well, and that's when you rely on Deolia, when you have the back to first base. You're able to kind of read that sign from Eduardo, and Eduardo can tell Gore that he might be treading off maybe an extra step than he usually does. He's thinking that he's going to run. And then they can decide from there, either throw it over to first or maybe try Eduardo to throw it over to first. The 2-1 foul back.
Waiting in the on-deck circle is Connor Morrow should Andy Leader reach base. Morrow, of course, had the sac fly that got the Royals' night off to a good start. Sac fly that cashed in Andy Leader.
Yeah, it was the first run of the ball game, bottom of the first. The Majors came back around, scored 1 in the second, tied it up, took the 3-1 lead. Chopper, and that's going to get down in the right center. And Leader is going to hold off. He puts the brakes on, and he's a homer away from the cycle.
You love to see it, especially, I mean, we've said it time and time again, with the season that Andy Leader is having, he needs a night like tonight to really get his confidence back, to really get him mentally into that good swing, good groove again. Find the form that he once had once more.
And now we're going to get a mound visit. This will be mound visit number 3 charged to the Majors.
Still no one up in the Royals bullpen, so Dino Rommel and co. definitely have their faith in the grill master, Evan Grills.
Hey, 86 pitches in for Evan, and he's getting a little bit more of a rest here in this inning to try to rest that arm and get ready for the next inning, if they do so choose to put the former pro back on the hill. And right here, you have 2 away, you have runners on the corners, you have Connor Morrow coming up. You know, what's the strategy here? Do you just, I mean, obviously the strategy is pitch strikes, get some outs. But again, 2 speedsters on the base path. This is maybe just more of a conversation of, hey, yes, Morrow's your batter that you're dealing with right here, but you need to keep an eye on these 2.
You got to imagine, yeah, that's especially what they're talking about, but you can see second and short are playing back. Corners are in, so they want to try and prevent a bunt, but also try and knock down any balls that are heading that way, prevent anything from getting to the outfield, and most importantly, stop the runs.
That one's going to get through into center field. 1 run comes in to score. Andy trotting to third, and he's safe. Connor Morrow with an RBI. We are tied at 4. Back and forth we go.
Ooh, we are just getting started here. So while you have 2 quick seconds, go get a snack, go get a drink, and buckle up because we are really getting into the thick of it now.
That'll be an RBI single for Mr. Morrow, and he gets on over to second after that throw from the infield. Andy Leader just raced around to get over to third base. So this will bring up J.D. Williams with runners on second and third, missing outside. And the Guelph Royals have started to get to Daniel Gore here.
I mean, the mind games, time and time again, the Royals have tried them. I think they're starting to pay off now.
And that's going to go in for a strike pretty much at belt level there on JD.
But now, stepping aside from the mind games, look at the Majors defensively. They have left that middle section just wide open. If you're J.D. Williams, you got to split the difference.
And that one's going to get over to Krasminski. Fields it over to first in time. But we are tied at 4. What a ball game. Still a lot more to go here at Hastings Stadium. Stay with us. 4-all heading to the 7th. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. Glad you can join us on this Wednesday night under the lights here at Hastings Stadium. Mark Pare and Josh Alderman. Top of the 7th as the London Majors will send Jagan Chanderdat, Victor Plaz, and Drew Lawrence to the hill. Or to the batter's box, as that one's going to go inside. On the hill still is Evan Grills. 86 pitches, make it 87 here now. He's been really cooking in the latter stages of this ball game. Swing and a miss. 8 strikeouts for the grill master here tonight.
Can you smell what the Grills is cooking? He has simply been on fire tonight.
And that one's going to go down low. Jagan Chanderdat hit a single in the 3rd and later came around to score.
In his rookie year, heading into tonight's contest, 200 batting average, 1 stolen base, 4 strikeouts.
Ooh, that one's going to hit Grills. He'll be patient, though, and throw it over to first on the 1-3. He wasn't the hardest hit of balls, but that one right there is always a scary moment for a pitcher whenever the ball is drilled right back at you.
Any kind of comebacker, even if it doesn't really hit a pitcher, it narrowly misses, you're going to want to go out and check on your pitcher, make sure they're not shaken up. That's what Dino Romel's doing. Sign of a real leader. Grills, he doesn't look shaken up. He's waving off Romel.
He's saying, I'm good. I'm good, coach. I'm ready to play. Tie ball game, and again, these two teams are putting on quite the show. The lone game in the IBL this evening. Tomorrow it'll be 3 games in the IBL. The Red Sox and Jackfish will go at it in Welland. The Maple Leafs are in Kitchener, and the Barnstormers will be in Barrie to take on the Baycats. That'll be an interesting matchup to watch as well, considering the distance between second and third and fourth in the IBL standings.
So close, and if Barrie starts to stumble, you mentioned it earlier, I mean, a full playoff series between these two teams? Sign me up.
Yeah, sign me up too, friend.
This game alone
Again,
has been
it's only a game and a half difference between Barrie and London, so it's not impossible. The 1-1. Chopped and grabbed by Connor Morrow.
While player of the game honors may very well go to Andy Leader or even Evan Grills, Connor Morrow, he's flown under the radar. He's had himself a really, really solid night. And once again, that subtle agility, that athleticism that Connor Morrow brings to the table, on display right there. What more evidence do you need?
Takes a hit away from Victor Plaz, and that'll bring up Drew Lawrence, who is 1 for 3 tonight. Holds off on the swing, but it crosses Broadway for a strike, and Lawrence not too thrilled with that one. Also in that game, Barrie and Chatham-Kent. Also to watch with that one is Chatham-Kent because of that battle between them and Hamilton. That one's cued in the infield. Takamatsu, throw over to first in time, and Drew Lawrence, I think, threw the bat farther than that baseball went. As we head into stretch time, we are tied at 4 as we head to the bottom of the 7th. Get your refreshments, get your food. We are in for a finish here, folks. Stay with us. This is Guelph Royals TV. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. Garrett Takamatsu due up here for the Guelph Royals. It'll be Tak, Garton, and Hammond. As we are tied at 4 here at the bottom of the 7th, the London Majors and the Guelph Royals putting on a show for those here at Hastings Stadium. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman, here in the broadcast booth here with you. Glad you can join us here on Guelph Royals TV. The delivery well outside and missing everybody there.
Tried for the corner and missed. And I mean, you really picked the perfect time to join us. Score tied at 4 here in the bottom of the 7th. And this is crunch time. This is when heroes are made.
One thing that was mentioned is just the lack of substitutions on the mound. It seems like both teams are more content to just try to reserve a couple of those extra arms for the next couple of games. This is just the appetizer. We got the main course coming up in the next couple of days. Of course, you have the game Friday night in London. Make sure to get your tickets now at Labatt Park. And then you come back here, the home finale for the Guelph Royals for the regular season as these two teams lock up again. A Saturday night at Hastings. What more can you want?
They say you always want to go out with a bang. Well, what bang is bigger than the London Majors versus the Guelph Royals? The end of what is essentially a 3-game series.
Fans in full throat, and that's going to go across for a strike.
Yes.
Yeah, very much bang for your buck entertainment, that is for sure. And a lot of fans here sticking around here for this tied ball game.
No better place to be than right here at Hastings. Beautiful Wednesday night. And
there's a swing and a
beautiful
miss.
ball game.
Of course, if Guelph gets the win, they will tie London once again in the standings. Just a game separating these two teams. Guelph losing to Welland last night, 7-5. London getting the win over Hamilton as well. So there's the walk issued to Takamatsu, and he'll get on board for the first time tonight.
Now we do have someone up in the bullpen of the Majors. Can't quite see who, but there's some rumbling. There's some activity out there in right field. Still nobody up for the Royals, so still plenty of faith in the grill master, Evan Grills.
Yeah, Grills telling Dino Ramel, I still got some propane left. Let's do this.
Still plenty of gas left in the tank. And the way he's been pitching tonight, if he's on a roll, if he feels confident enough in himself, let him go.
Absolutely. There's a swing and a miss from Garton. And, you're absolutely right. It's been a game where he's been able to ease in a lot more into it. Just 6 pitches to get through the first. Had a rough couple of innings after that, but really has kind of calmed himself down. That one's going to miss well outside. And, those talks of those balks in the early going of this game has really subsided here in tonight's ball game.
If anything, that was the turning point for Evan Grills' night. That's where he really got into a good motion, excellent delivery, and that's when he really got into the swing of things.
Well, and that's that communication, right? You're not yelling at the umpires. You're just trying to get information, saying, okay, what am I doing wrong? Yeah. What's the move? What are you calling? That's so you can adjust and then just move on. And that's the hallmark of a professional pitcher right there. The 2-1 to Garton. Knocked over, grabbed there by Cardoso. Over to second, over to first, and in time. Wow. A 3-4-3 double play. And that'll retire both Takamatsu and Garton.
Beautiful glove work from Cardoso. And takes it himself right back at first to complete the double play. However close it may have been, really excellent stuff from the Majors. They've really tightened up defensively in these last few innings after error led to the Royals really picking up a big advantage both on the scoreboard and even mentally.
I believe that might have been a 3-6-3, but there's a swing and a miss by Ethan Hammond. But either way, that's a highlight to put into the highlight reel tonight. Yeah, close ball game. Guelph trying to get some momentum going for them. The 0-1 off the end of the bat. That's going to get over the head, a base hit here for Hammond. On board for the third time tonight is the left fielder.
That'll bring up the big redwood. And it's Drew Durst. Interesting that he has stuck in the DH spot. He has been very, very reliable as a relief pitcher. 180 ERA, 16 strikeouts, 1 save, just across 10 innings pitched since joining the Royals. But his bat, it's still pretty solid. In his tall frame, he's got plenty of pop.
It's a guy that can do it all. At such a young age as well. Looks big, looks like a veteran, but a reminder, just 22 years old. As that one's going to be fouled off. I think it went off the light.
Some fan making a comment, the city's going to send a bill.
Someone paging Mr. Guthrie, Mr. Cam Guthrie to Hastings Stadium. An 0-1 here on Drew Durst. 1 for 3 tonight. And watches that one miss just outside.
Durst, for all the big swings he's been taking in prior games, he's been very patient here tonight. He's really waiting for that one pitch, the one that he needs to push the Royals over the top.
One thing to mention, it looks like it is Champ Garner that's now out in center field. So a substitution on defense to note.
Garner, the youngster from Middle Georgia State University. A defensive replacement coming in for Drew Lawrence. Lawrence obviously had a couple mistakes in the first 2 innings.
The 1-2, swing and a miss, strike 3. Drew Durst goes down, and we remain tied at 4 as we head to the 8th here at Hastings. Welcome. We'll be back after this.
Hard line drive up the middle. Whoa! Lindor out of nowhere. How did he do that?
That Lindor can play. I don't know about that hair. And don't get me started on those gloves.
I don't know. I kind of like it.
It's time for a revolution. The Ref 1X by Rollins.
Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. Mark Pare and Josh Alderman here in the broadcast booth, getting set for the 8th inning here at Hastings Stadium. It is Guelph 4, London 4, as we will send it to Eduardo de Olio. It'll be the heart of the order here for the majors here in the 8th. It'll be de Olio, Cardoso, and Brownlee. Talk about a murderer's row there when they get cooking.
Took the words right out of my mouth. I mean, you got the real power of DeOlio, the all-around athleticism of Cardoso, and then that veteran presence of Brownlee.
Chopper down the line, just foul. And I mean just foul.
I barely squeaked past, but it's a foul nonetheless.
Pitch number 95 for Evan Grills. who again, as we have talked about already, has really eased himself into this ball game.
Similar to Jacob Cush, where it takes him a couple innings to really get going, but once he gets going, there is no turning back. The propane is cranked all the way up, and it is gas, gas, gas right till the finish.
500 degrees right there on the outside edge, but just missing for ball one. The delivery well inside. DeOlio gets out of the way. Looks like there's going to be some activity in the Royals bullpen. There's a couple of guys walking down that way.
Yeah, it looks like Risa Montgomery and Yuki Narita both heading out there, perhaps for different situations. If the Royals were to score, maybe put in Yuki. He has really been clutch.
Oh, that one's sent up high, but it's playable for Ethan Hammond. He'll come over to make the catch.
Risa Montgomery is more of a lengthy reliever. He will go the distance, go 4, 5, 6 innings if needed. So if the score stays tied, if we go to extra innings, or even if London gets ahead, Risa Montgomery might be the guy they put in to limit the damage or to keep the Royals right where they are. Keep the Majors, pardon me, right where they are.
Well, let's bring up Caden Cardoso, a pair of singles tonight, as that one's delivered, just missing on the outside. Guelph going 12 innings in Chatham-Kent on Sunday, losing 7-6. Drew Durst went in that one going 5 innings, was also the DH in that game. It was 4-1 Guelph after 5. That one's lined into right field. Cardoso with yet another single. El Fuego tonight is Caden Cardoso. 3 singles.
You mentioned off the top of the broadcast that he was your pick for Rookie of the Year, and I thought it was controversial. I may have disagreed, but I gotta say,
who else are you gonna pick?
This guy's made me a believer.
Well, the one thing I will tell you is that there were a lot of people thinking about Seth Strong for that award, but does not qualify. It is not eligible to win the Rookie of the Year. The rule is you need to be a Canadian to win that award. Seth Strong from Ohio, not eligible. Swing and a miss. Again, you want to talk about controversial. That'll put Seth Strong, I think, into a lot of conversations for just overall IBL MVP.
Oh, for sure.
He's sure as sugar has done a lot to do that, to win that award.
He's been in those conversations regardless of the Rookie of the Year nod, but that just boosts Cardoso's odds.
That one's going to miss well down low. Well, I've already got it in the back of my head. Now, keep in mind, I don't get a lot of official votes, but I would put Cardoso as your Rookie of the Year. I would put Seth Strong as your IBL MVP.
Both
Cardoso's going to go. They're going to catch him in the rundown. No! Cardoso will get in safely. Thinking about third as that overthrow goes into the outfield. A couple of miscues there by the Royals as they caught the man in the rundown, but it's going to be a stolen base for Cardoso. So put him into scoring position.
And here I was thinking I could bring in the stats about fielding for both of these teams. I mean, we mentioned earlier, London hasn't exactly been the best defensively. They've given up over 60 errors this season. The Royals now up to 48, still the lowest in the league.
The 1-1, line down the line, foul. Brownlee thought he had a beat on it. And these two teams have been relatively responsible during the season series. Guelph charged with just 4 errors against London in the season series. London has only been hit with 2 errors against the Royals. And it's been rather low scoring, and part of the course, it's a 4-4 game. But a couple of big London victories. Swing and a miss for strike 3.
But you got to put yourself in the player's shoes under the bright lights of Hastings, under the bright lights of a playoff implication game. It's that big, tough battle for third place here in the IBL These two teams are giving it their all, and in the heat of the moment, mistakes will be made when you're trying your best to get every out, to make every run count, to make every save. You're just going to make a couple mistakes along the way.
And Dino Ramel's going to come out and have a conversation with Evan Grills as well as the entire infield here. With a 4-4 ball game and a runner in scoring position and 2 away for Byron Reichstein, you can't afford to make a miscue here.
I was going to mention that when you're making the mother of all omelets, you got to break a few eggs along the way. But this is crunch time. This is when you cannot make those mistakes. You got to tighten things up defensively, offensively. You got to make things click, and you got to work almost mechanically, robotically, just pure efficiency to finish off your opponent.
105 pitches in here for Evan Grills. He has a quick smile and conversation there with Caden Cardoso out there at second base. They're still talking with one another. They're having a time, folks. We are having a time here at Hastings. 2 away here for Byron Reichstein, and the London Majors with an opportunity to try to retake the lead here. Evan Grills looking to shut it down. And that's going to go in for a strike. It broke more to the outside once it got to the plates.
Yeah, his slider has been meaner than evil tonight. Just really breaking at the last second, and got him a very, very necessary strike there, but that one, not the same result. 1-1 now the count.
Not at all. It's just one of those, you need those balls to just break for you at the right time, at the right moment. Reichstein 0 for 3. The delivery to the plate, that one very similar location, similar pitch, but missing yet again. Grills, as mentioned, above the century mark. If you're just joining us, 4-4 ball game. Both teams getting a warning from the umpires early on in this game for a few balks that were called. Swing and a bit of a half swing there for strike 2. A couple of balks charged to Evan Grills back in the second inning. There was some chatter only moments later, and the umpire shut it down immediately. We haven't talked about really balking ever since. Fans in full throat with 2 away. The 2-2. Chopper. Takamatsu fielded over to first. In time, they'll get him. So they'll strand a runner, and we remain tied at 4 as we head to the bottom of the 8th here at Hastings. Stay with us. Still a lot more baseball upcoming. This is Royals TV. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. A new pitcher coming into the ball game here for the Guelph Royals in a tie ball game in the bottom of the 8th. It is Skylar Janice.
Janice in his 3rd year in the IBL, spent the last 2 seasons with the Kitchener Panthers. Whoa, wow, words are hard. Kitchener Panthers. He's got a 2.22 ERA heading into tonight. 1 win across 16 innings pitched. He's got 19 strikeouts.
That one's going to be lined to the second baseman, Chanderdad, over to first in time. Although that could be Ty Mosher out there. No, it isn't because he's injured.
Oh,
the one thing about these jerseys, they're stylish for the London Majors, but let me tell you, as a broadcaster, they are not fun.
It is ambitious. It is creative. But
the person that designed them, maybe give a bit of a yellow outline. Perhaps.
A highlight, perhaps.
I would enjoy that. That one's going to miss outside for Ashton Patterson. Now, the one thing on Skylar Janice, yes, a former Kitchener Panther, only played in the 1 game, actually, for the Panthers in 2022. Did pitch for the London Majors last season, came on as a relief pitcher there. He was actually a starter for the Panthers. Only got into that 1 game, as mentioned. Previously to that, played some indie ball. Played in the Frontier League. Former New York Yankees prospect. 34th round draft pick in 2011. That one's going to miss upstairs. Patterson, a 3-0 count.
Andy Leader waiting patiently on deck. He's a homer away from the cycle. And knock on wood, no announcer's curse tonight.
And that's going to go in for ball 4. Patterson takes a base with 1 away.
Number 11, Indy.
And here comes Mr. Leader.
And if there is anyone you want to put the bat in the hands of in such a tight game, a game with so many implications on the line, based on the night he's had tonight, it's Andy Leader. 11 times out of 10, it's Andy Leader.
11 times for number 11, his 7th IBL season, his first as a Royal. And he will take for strike 1. Canisius College alum, took communication studies in his time over in Canisius. Was part of the all-academic team in both 2019 and 2020. The runner's going to go. Throw well offline, and getting in safely is Mr. Patterson. Runner in scoring position here for the Royals in the bottom of the 8th.
He's a genius both on and off the field, and he's become a, pun 100% intended, real leader in this Royals dugout. A good presence for the young kids, 3-time All-Star, and he has really made his mark here tonight.
He's coached a number of years in Kitchener as well, so trying to mold that next generation to his liking, and it looks like Leader's going to call for time here. Actually, I think Skylar needs to retie his shoelace. Better to be safe than sorry.
Always want to be sure, especially in a situation like this.
So Skylar will get back on the rubber here. He'll look back at Patterson. The delivery, chopper, and that's going to get over to the shortstop, over to first, and in time. They'll retire Leader. Kresminski, the throw over to first. The 6-3 putout puts Patterson over at third base, more importantly, but there's 2 away here for Connor Morrow.
The man who chooses his walk-up to be fly me to the moon, looking for a moon shot here to put the Royals ahead. This could be his moment, and I mentioned earlier, Grills has had a great night, Leader's had a great night. Both are contenders for player of the game for the Royals, but this guy right here has flown under the radar. His performance tonight has not been as acknowledged as it should have been.
6-game hitting streak extended to 7 earlier on tonight. That one's to Kresminski. Fields it over to first, the scoop, and in time. And the Royals will have to wait as the majors are pumped. We remain tied at 4 as we go to the 9th here at Hastings.
Not a bad word about Cardona.
Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV, and we head to the top of the 9th here at Hastings Stadium. Buckle up, folks. We could be in for, dare I say, extra innings. We'll see. Yuki Narita looking to keep things in check here for the Guelph Royals in the 9th inning. He comes in for Evan Grills, who had an excellent outing for the Guelph Royals here tonight.
You want to talk about going from great to great? Grills passing the ball off to Yuki Narita. Narita, just 25 years of age, the righty from Sendai, recently plied his trade for the Subaru Motors in the Japan Company League, had an outstanding season, and has been a star for the Royals.
Oh, he holds off on that one, swung through. Did Starling Joseph. It caught a piece of the bat. No worse for wear there.
Narita, a 2.18 ERA, 48 strikeouts, 4 wins in 37 innings of work. He's mostly been used as a reliever. If there's such thing as an ace reliever, that's Yuki Narita.
Yuki has been beautiful for sure. The 0-1. Chopper there. Grabbed there by JD. Over to first in time, and Starling Joseph goes down. It's the bottom of the order due up here for the London Majors. Joseph just retired there, and that'll bring up Gibson Kresminski. And what I really liked about that one there is that JD has been really settling in over at third base after a couple of miscues earlier on tonight.
When you fall, you got to get right back up, dust yourself off. And that is exactly what J.D. Williams has done. Maybe not the dust himself off part. Plenty of dirt on his uniform tonight.
Not on his shoulder, though.
Definitely not.
The delivery upstairs.
Waiting in the on-deck circle is Jagan Chandradat. So, of course, we will see him. He is still in the game at second base.
Yes, he is. The 1-0 delivered. Oh, for a strike. Just inside the strike zone on the outside.
Really, really beautiful stuff from Yuki so far tonight. And, I mean, if this inning goes like his last 32, we are in for an excellent display of pitching.
And we have seen a whole lot of great pitching in this ball game as well as in this season series. You take a look coming into tonight. London just hitting 148 against the Royals this year. Guelph just hitting 204 against the Majors. What does that tell you? The pitching has been on point, as that one just misses downstairs under the knees of Krasminski.
Fans didn't like the call, but the boos now turn to cheers. Cheers in support of their man, the crowd favorite, Yuki Narita. 3-1 count. Yuki gets set.
Yes, indeed he does. The delivery missing upstairs, and Krasminski will get on with one away. So Jagan Chandradat will come in. 1 for 3 here tonight.
You want to talk about elusive speed threats? We want to talk about Krasminski down there at first base. 2 stolen bases so far this season, but we've seen tonight that he's quick on his feet, light on his toes. He's got a pretty decent lead down there at first.
The delivery ran across Broadway for a strike. So no balls, 1 strike here on Chandradat. Hit a single and later scored in the third. Grounded out his other 2 times at the dish. Narita will get set. And that was a very late swing by Chandradat. And I mean a very late swing.
I'm pretty sure it was already in the glove. The ball was back on its way to Yuki Narita. And swing and a miss.
So an 0-2 count here on Chandradat. The delivery, swing and a miss. 2 away here in the 9th.
Chandradat has struggled all game long trying to catch up to a fastball. It was a breaking ball that he hit for that single that he later came around to score in that inning. But the fastball, that is where he has been falling behind in this game. Yuki Narita takes advantage and brings the Royals 1 step closer to shutting down the threat of the Majors.
Victor Plaz will now step in. The only time he has reached base tonight has been on a bunt single that came back in that 3rd inning. 2-run 3rd inning for the London Majors. That gave him a 3-1 lead at that stage. Guelph would come back to tie it in the 4th. It was a 3-3 game. Both teams exchanging runs in the 7th. Or rather in the 6th. The 1-0 and misses inside. Plaz has been retired the other ways. A fly out in the 1st, a liner out in the 7th. He struck out in the 5th. The 2-0. That'll be sent foul.
Royals Kingdom coming alive, letting their voices be heard.
So Charlie Bowman will be on deck here for the Majors. Took over for Drew Lawrence out in center field in the last inning. Narita will get set here again for the 2-1. The delivery. Swing and a miss.
Oh, man. Yuki is throwing heat tonight. Obviously, we don't have the tech to catch the speed on that one, but
That'll be a 2025 thing, maybe.
yeah, that's next year's problem.
We'll get the radar gun out, maybe.
I'll tell you how fast that went. You can't even see it. Unbelievable.
Fans getting loud here at Hastings for the 2-2. The delivery, and strike 3. To the bottom of the ninth we go. We are tied at 4. The Royals looking to walk it off. Williams, Takamatsu, and Garten due up for the Royals. Stay with us. This is Guelph Royals TV. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV to the bottom of the ninth here at Hastings Stadium. Glad you can join us. What a ball game we have had here between the Guelph Royals and the London Majors in a heated battle for third place in the IBL standings. Guelph looking to get into a tie for third place with a victory here tonight with 3 games remaining for both of these teams. J.D. Williams will turn on the first pitch he sees and put it out to center field.
Mr. Left Turn's only wasting no time. 1 pitch is all it takes, and J.D. Williams is already on first. He's a speed threat. He has that nickname for a reason. And you want to talk about a murderer's row, a 1-2-3 punch of Williams, Takamatsu, and Garten. All 3 were guaranteed to see in this inning.
Well, we'll see what Takamatsu can do. He settled for a walk his last time up, his first time reaching base.
His 11th walk of the season, but as of late, he's been swinging a hot bat. He's really turned his season around.
That's going to go across for strike 1. Takamatsu against London hitting .429 coming into tonight. Of course, a very small sample size, just 3 for 7. Keep in mind, this is only the 4th meeting of the regular season between these two teams. Throw over to first, and not in time. JD gets back in safely.
Of course, still meetings still to come. Still 2 meetings still to come this season between these two teams. All of them happening within this week. One on Friday in London, and then back here for the last Royals home game of the season.
Skylar Janice gets set. The delivery well outside. Trying to force the swing from Garrett, but Tack isn't going to bite. Evens the count at 1-1.
He's already got 30 RBIs this season, and if there ever was a time to add 1 more on the board, it's now.
And they're going to call a balk. They're going to award second base to JD. The balk comes back out to play here in a crucial time of this ball game. They call Skylar Janice for a balk on the hill.
My, how the tables turn. If there ever was a moment for Skylar Janice to not slip up, there it was.
So with a runner in scoring position, the winning run just 180 feet away. The check over to second. The delivery in for a strike on Garrett. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Nobody out here in the bottom of the ninth.
Anything to the outfield will at the very least advance Williams. He's got the wheels, and at this stage of the game, he might even chance it. But of course,
One swing of the bat could do it. We shall see. There's a lot of space between the center fielder and the right fielder. And, they're going to say it hit Garrett Takamatsu. He'll take a base. Runners on first and second now.
As soon as that pitch came through, you could hear it connected with his equipment. I believe it was his elbow guard. But now, 2 runners on, no outs. And guess who's coming to the plate? It's the mountain of muscle, Josh Garton.
But we're going to have to take a delay here because here comes Roop Chandradat to have a mound visit with Skylar Janice. Runners on first and second here in the bottom of the 9th. Nobody out for Josh. Josh and Dino having a bit of a conference here as well on the third base side. This is a crucial, if anything, moment in this ball game. The Royals looking to get into a tie in the standings with the majors, with Friday looming in the Forest City. And there's the 5th mound visit charged to the majors.
There is not someone more reliable in situations like these than the Prince of Power himself, Josh Garton. 7 home runs, 26 RBIs, and heading into tonight's contest, a .271 average. If there ever was a time, it's now.
He'll get set, the lefty against the righty. Williams on second, Takamatsu on first. A check over to second base, and that's just going to miss outside. For Josh Garton, hit a single back in the 4th inning. He led things off with a single, hit into a double play in the 7th. A big moment here. A couple of former draft picks. The delivery, and that's going to go down low. And Garton having a word there with Dean Overly, the home plate umpire. I don't know if there was some shouting of balk here in the
all
in
across.
the crowd.
Yeah,
Very interesting.
The crowd has been loud all night long, the Kingdom letting their voices be heard.
That one's going to be set up high, but fouled off. Skylar Janice, as mentioned before, a former Yankees prospect for Josh Garton. Of course, he is a former Cincinnati prospect, 12th rounder in 2009, played 3 years in the minor leagues. His 10th year in the league here in the IBL, former Hamilton Cardinal, former Kitchener Panther.
But now he's returned home to Guelph.
Yes, he has, and that's going to paint for strike number 2. Just clipping the outside corner. And now the fans in full throat here at Hastings trying to will Garton. Tak standing in behind Cardoso over at first. Traditional depth here, and it looks like time is going to be called. We've been seeing it a lot where you've been seeing a lot of extended delays in between pitches, just trying that mano-y-mano, wait it out, see if you're going to call for time. Here comes the 2-2. And he gets a piece of it to stay alive.
It's the Western stare down. Who's going to go first? Who's going to make the first move?
Got a couple of gunslingers.
In Skylar Janice, Josh Garton. Under the bright lights of Hastings, it doesn't get better than this.
The only game in town in the IBL tonight. We thank all of you for tuning in on the broadcast. Over 200 of you watching on the broadcast here tonight. Garton will get back into the batter's box. Williams and Tak take their lead. The 2-2. Swing and a miss. And Garton goes down on strikes. The Majors get that first out of the inning.
Still 2 runners on base despite that 1 out, and that will bring up the young buck, Ethan Hammond. He's had himself quite a night, hasn't he, Mark?
Yes, he has. A double, a single, He reached on an error back in the 4th as well, came around to score in that inning. So he's reached base 3 times. Has made some consistent contact with the baseball. Comes up at a big moment of this ball game. And that'll go across right at about the knees for strike 1.
Just outside, Janice doing an excellent job of painting the corners. Hammond had no answer on that first pitch. Now looking to reevaluate the strategy, as I believe it was Hammond who called time there.
Yeah, it did look like it as Oberle walks away, gives him his moment. So again, these two teams will meet on Friday in London, here on Saturday in Guelph. This has been a great entree to this 3-game series as that moves to the outside. The series before the official series get underway next week in the IBL. Keep tuned on to all the social media channels of all the playoff-bound IBL teams for all the schedules. You can also go to IBL 1919 on social media for all the schedules when they do come out for the first round. That one goes in for a strike.
So many implications, so many variables at play, and it's games like these where heroes emerge.
And again, it's going to be Hamilton and Chatham-Kent vying for that 5-6 spot, an outside chance perhaps for Toronto to maybe climb in there. But those likely look to be the two opponents for these two teams. The 1-2 and into the dirts.
Williams not running. Had a stutter step there, almost daring DiArio to throw, but no dice. 2-2 count now.
But of course, as we talked about before, you want that third place spot, because if it is 1 through 4 that make the semis, you avoid that matchup with Welland. Both of these teams have struggled against the Jackfish this year. 2 balls, 2 strikes here on Hammond. Janice gets set. The delivery, swing and a miss. Strike 3. Janice with a pair of strikeouts after putting the first 2 runners aboard.
Skylar Janice is hyped up right now. You can see he is so pumped to retire. Just back-to-back dangerous hitters in Garten and Hammond. But still, the danger is present. 2 runners on base, 2 speedsters on base. And now the Redwood Big Tex Drew Durst up at the plate.
Lefty versus righty again. That is a big strike zone to work with if you're Skylar Janice, but Durst has a lot of power. And watches that one miss just outside for ball 1. You're not thinking about stealing here. You just let Durst put bat to ball, put it into the gap, and allow Williams to do his thing to get around the bases. That's what you're looking for if you're the Guelph Royals.
Let each man work his magic.
Missing outside again, 2-0.
Janice more cautious in this matchup than he was in the last 2. Those 2 were more dangerous hitters than Durst is. No disrespect to him, but
well, Durst has struck out the last 2 times he's been up. So it is that matchup right there. Recency bias you got right there. But he does have a single here tonight, too. Janice, the delivery, swing and a miss, and it caught DeOlio. And the catcher for the London Majors is going to need a moment here.
That may have connected south of the equator. Looks like he will be all right to continue. Little shaken up.
Well, remember, you're not wearing all the padding in the world there. You catch that one in the thigh, you catch that one pretty much anywhere where there's no padding. That is a hard thrown ball. You're going to need that extra second to take a breather. So back we go. 2 balls, 1 strike here on Durst. The delivery, and the balk is called. And Skylar Janice furious with the third base umpire, James Lyles.
If you thought Evan Grills was upset at the balk calls, Skylar Janice, he's letting them hear it.
So runners now on 2nd and 3rd. The balk was the story in the early stages of this game. It is rearing its ugly head here yet again. And it's Skylar Janice that is victimized by those two balk calls there.
The coop fully open tonight.
And they're going to call time. The throw is going to be right across the plate, as they're just going to get a new ball into play. The fans making their voices
presence
heard.
known, yeah. That's what you love to hear, the fans rallying behind the home side, the Kingdom, letting their voices be heard. And you got to imagine that's the 10th man. It's the fans. These Hastings fans are like no other.
And fans are really getting loud here, trying to will the team to victory. Swing and a miss.
Should Durst reach base, Evan Ash is waiting in the on-deck circle, but for the Royals, for Durst, they don't want to make it that far.
No, they do not. Durst wants to send this one into the good night and send these Guelph fans home happy. Very boisterous is this crowd here at Hastings. The delivery on the 2-2 into the Dirts. The showdown at the OK Corral. Drew Durst gets himself into a full count.
They say diamonds are made under pressure. It's time to see if Drew Durst can shine under the bright lights of Hastings. It's a full count, 2 outs, runners at second and third.
Here we go. Janice will get set. The delivery, swing and a miss. Skylar Janice absolutely pumped. 2 runners get on, but Janice strikes out the next 3. The London Majors get out of it, and we are heading to extras here at Hastings Stadium. What a battle, and it will continue with some free baseball after this. Stay with us. This is Guelph Royals TV. Welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. We head to the 10th here at Hastings Stadium. Mark Pare, Josh Alderman here. Glad you can join us here on this Wednesday night. Hope you got some room in your schedule for some free baseball. We might be here a little while. It is 4-4. Victor Plaz over at second base, and Charlie Bowman will come in for Drew Lawrence.
The way these two teams have been playing, so evenly matched. The pitching has been so on point, and the bats have been lighting up Hastings. This could go all night.
For those that can't read those jerseys, that's number 95 for Charlie Bowman. Yuki Narita will remain in the game. Throw over to second base, not in time, trying to pick off Plaz. Plaz was the third out in the ninth, so of course he does become the intentional runner. They do have that rule still here in the IBL.
If anything, that was more of a warning shot, just to let Plaz know that, hey, we're keeping an eye on you.
Squaring up to bunt, throw into second base, and Plaz will get back in time. Morrow having to keep on his toes there. A couple of throws back his way.
An excellent block from Evan Ash. That one in the dirt almost got away from him, but great job to block it, and just to get the throw off was already impressive.
Already been a number of storylines in this game, and just, again, keep in mind, this is the first of three between these two teams this week. Scoring up to bunt was Bowman, and he pulls back.
Two-0 count against Bowman now.
Second time Guelph has gone to extras this week. They went to 12 in Chatham-Kent on Sunday, losing 7-6. It was tied at 4 after extras, or after the ninth inning, just like we are here tonight. And that's going to paint the outside for a strike.
Just the way Bowman is leaning in, when he's got that bat set up in the bunt position, he's almost leaning away like he's trying to gather a ball, like he's trying to get a walk instead of trying to bunt.
Well, it's 2 balls, 1 strike. Garton is playing in the grass. Scoring up to bunt, down the third base side. That's going to stay fair. JD over to first, and not in time. Talk came off the bag, and now there's nobody covering second base. That's a free 90. Some errors there by the Guelph Royals, some miscommunication, and just like that, there's runners on second and third.
Malfunction at the junction. Now is not the time for the Royals to be pulling something like that. I get you want to protect the bunt, but you got to protect the bag. You got to make sure that second base is covered. You got to make sure that that runner is not going. And now what would have been runners at the corners is now runners at second and third with no outs. And the dangerous veteran Eduardo De Olio up to bat.
Officially, Bowman reaches on an E5. Nobody out, as you mentioned, partner. Inside infielders playing on the edge of the grass. Garton playing pretty much in the grass at this point. Plaz advancing to third. Eduardo De Olio, the batter, has a single to his credit here tonight. Yuki will get set. Has done well in his short stint here tonight, as that one's going to go right at just above belt level for strike one, and De Olio steps back, not liking that one.
Waving his hands about, letting every umpire know what he thinks. He's got to be careful. Warnings were already issued earlier in the game to the dugouts, to the benches of both of these teams. And with tensions already running high, De Olio does not need to fan the flames.
Here comes the 0-1. And that one curved down and missing. Trying to get that north-south kind of angle there was Yuki. A big opportunity here for the Majors to draw some first blood here in this extra inning.
Bowman with a hefty lead over at second.
The delivery, chopper, That one's going to get past Morrow. 1 run comes in to score. Chugging around second and coming in is going to be Charlie Bowman. 2 runs come in, and the Majors have taken a 6-4 lead. Wait a minute.
Hold your horses.
The Majors are celebrating on the other side. No, it is going to count. I don't know what any kind of contention would have been. I think it was just more the noise on the right side, and they're going to intentionally walk Cardoso.
That's the smart choice with the season Cardoso's having, with the night he's been having. You don't want to make the damage worse. I mean, he's the kind of guy that you do intentionally walk. Just get him off the base or off a home plate, send him up to first, and just try and get a double play off of Cleveland Brownlee.
2 runs have already come in. And it will be Cleveland Brownlee with nobody out here in the 10th. DeOlio's on second, Cardoso's on first. Fireworks here tonight.
Both runners taking big leads, and now the infield, the Royals defensively playing a bit outward.
The delivery, swing and a miss by Cleveland. Strike 1. Cleveland, a pair of strikeouts tonight. Singled in the 6th. This is where Narita really needs to lock it down. Check over at second. The delivery, and just missing. Evens the count at 1-1.
Just like Chanderdat, Cleveland Brownlee has been struggling to catch up to any fastball tonight. Yuki is throwing absolute perfect heat tonight. He's got to keep that up.
Swing and a miss. Strike 2.
That right there is what I'm talking about. Flamethrower on the mound. You got a guy who's susceptible to swinging at fastballs. Just play to your advantage. Don't even try and get that ground ball. Get an out on the scoreboard.
Narita looking to get set here one more time. Needs one more strike here on Cleveland. The delivery, and strike 3. Brownlee goes down on K's.
So from one London vet to another, it's going to bring up the 12-year Majors veteran, Byron Rechstein.
Now, Rechstein is 0 for 4 in this game, but is definitely one of those you can count on for some heroics.
5 home runs, 16 RBIs, and an astounding 24 walks.
The delivery missing inside. This is where Narita needs to start working the quadrants a little bit more, bring the heat at key times, try to throw the hitter off. Look over at second, the 1-0 well outside. And you can see it here again where you're not really seeing any activity in either dugout at this time. While it's a key victory for either of these teams here tonight, save some arms for the next 2 games. The 2-0, well outside again. Hitters count here, 3-0 here on Reichstein.
While this makeshift series is just getting started, I agree. You got to preserve your pitching. Got to keep you guys fresh and ready. And why not let Janice and Narita go head-to-head in this pitcher's duel?
The delivery, and that is going to miss. The bases are loaded with 1 away.
And that will bring up Starling Joseph in his 3rd year with the London Majors. 4 doubles, 4 home runs, 23 RBIs, and he's a speed threat too. 8 stolen bases. You got to be careful with him. The batting average may not be where he wants it to be, 244 heading into tonight's contest, but he's got to lock it down.
He does. And Joseph is susceptible to the strikeout, as we've talked about before. Top 5 in the league when it comes to striking out. Now maybe get into a grounder, get a double play going. Swing and a miss. You have the bases loaded. You have the ability to try to turn two and get out of the inning unscathed.
But of course, you gotta be careful. Coming up next is the switch hitting Krasmensky. 6 doubles, 2 home runs, and a very impressive 20 ribeyes from him.
Couple of checks there from Narita. Set up a little bit more outside is Ash. The 0-1. Woo-hoo-hoo. What's some movement there for a strike?
Joseph, a deer in headlights, just like most of us, just stopped, stared in absolute wonder.
And that's just working the timing right there, is just throwing off the timing of the batter. You've been throwing a bit more heat in the last little bit. Take a little bit off of it. Force Joseph to guess a little bit.
It's all about the mind games.
The 0-2. Swing and a miss. He got him. Pair of Ks for Yuki Narita. 2 away here in the 10th.
Despite some early struggles this inning, Yuki is really showing his talent here, really showing that he belongs in that top caliber of relievers in the IBL. What a performance. If he can get out of the inning, crowning moment for him.
Gibson Krasminski, the batter. Let's go back to Evan Grills for a moment. 8 innings he went. 110 pitches, 77 for strikes. Struck out 9 in his outing. Gave up 4 runs, 3 of them earned off of 9 hits. Didn't walk anybody either. And Yuki's done a phenomenal job just coming in to sub in for him. Has been roughed up here in the 10th, though, as that one's fouled off.
Gross was cooking tonight. Yuki's throwing flames. This Royals roster is packed with talented pitchers ready to go on a deep playoff run.
There's a reason why they're first in the IBL when it comes to ERA. Just a 3.19 clip. Unbelievable pitching rotation this team has. The 0-1 paints the inside edge for a strike. And 2 here on Krasminski. 3 strikeouts here tonight. Walked his last time up in the 9th. But Yuki would love to K him up and send this to the bottom half.
The crowd getting loud.
The 0-2 swing, and he got a piece of it. It went off the mask of Ash and in behind.
And a hush falls over Hastings. This is as tense as nails biting as it can get. It all comes down to this, and I couldn't be more excited.
It's a great ball game, to say the very least, partner. No balls, 2 strikes. Yuki will try again. Still a number of people still in attendance here at Hastings Stadium taking this one in. Yuki gets set. That one's going to be queued up off the end of the bat and into the glove. A couple of trots back for Garrett Takamatsu, and the Royals get out of it, but not unscathed. 2 runs coming to score. It's 6-4 Majors as we head to the bottom of the 10th. Can the Royals climb back? We'll be right back.
Heard you looking for a hero. Well, look up. Yeah, I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up. I got the heart of a champion. If I get knocked down, I get back up.
welcome back to Guelph Royals TV. To the bottom of the 10th we go. It will be Evan Ash to start things off here for the Guelph Royals. Mark Pare and Josh Alderman here with you. Drew Durst will be over at second base as the ghost runner here in the 10th. And it is a 6-4 ball game. The Majors getting a couple in the top half. Guelph looking to match it, and maybe then some more.
New pitcher on the mound for the Majors as well. That's Jared Lund, the lefty, in his second year with the Majors. Right now, he doesn't have the best record statistically, 7.07 ERA, 12 Ks, 8 walks, and 15 hits across 14 innings pitched.
The delivery well outside, and great job there by Eduardo De Olio, or else that was going back to the fence, and Drew Durst was getting an easy 90.
Great job by De Olio. Great blocking. Diving to the side.
Lund, the lefty, checks over at second base. The delivery popped up, and that'll go out of play. Jared Lund, as you mentioned, in his second year in the IBL. Spent 2 previous seasons in the IBL as well, but as an affiliate call-up. Just completed his 5th and final year with Salem University, some D2 ball in the NCAA. Check over at second base, and that'll go in for a strike. Also played his junior years with the St. Thomas Tomcats. London born and bred, pitching for his hometown team.
And now on the big stage in a big moment, big pressure on this youngster.
Also got to give a big happy belated birthday to Skylar Janice, who we saw earlier on in this game, turned 31 years of age yesterday. The 1-2, swing and a miss. Evan Ash goes down. So that'll bring up Ashton Patterson with one away. And Durst still over at second base.
Waiting in the on-deck circle. Yes, the cycle watch is still on as of now.
Who knew?
Andy Leader waiting in the wings. And who knows? This could be an improbable opportunity to close out the cycle for him.
Well, Patterson's got to get on base first. He has reached twice, one on a single, one on a walk. That one's going to go into the dirt, and they'll keep Durst over at second base as Plaz keeping his foot on the bag over at third. Saying, no, big man, you stay right over there.
He thought about it. He really gave it some consideration, but made the smart choice in the end. Lund gets set. Shakes off the first sign. Gets something he likes.
Patterson swinging the bat. Couple of checks. Well away from the zone, 2-0. Patterson will step back in here. Flown out to left field his first 2 times up. Getting a little bit of a round of applause, the 2-0. And for a strike. Holding his head was Patterson there. Wasn't too thrilled with the call, but he'll step right back in just to check in there with Dean Oberle to say how much did that catch. Just to kind of get an idea of where the strike zone is. Check on over to second. Well outside, 3-1.
Crowd starting to come alive here. Starting to rally behind the Roadrunner. 3-1 count working in his favor.
The lefty on lefty. Lund checks. Here comes the 3-1. Popped up. This could be playable. Plaz getting over, and that's going to drop out of play, perhaps. It did, so Patterson will stay alive. Keep in mind, for those here at Hastings Stadium, anything on the other side of the gravel track is out of play. Basically consider the edge of that grass as kind of a faux fence, if you will. You need to keep your feet planted in bounds to make a grab in order for it to count.
And it did look like he was complaining to the umpire about the tree getting in his way.
It's a possibility. Hey, nature. It is what it is. Well, it's a 3-2 count here on Patterson. The delivery. Swing and a miss. 2 strikeouts here for Jared Lund. And the Royals are down to their final outs. And this will bring up Andy Leader.
The Royals down to their last out. It is crunch time, and for this game, you couldn't ask for a bigger and better name to step up to the plate than Andy Leader.
Your last chance is in the hands of a guy that is 4 for 5 here tonight. An unbelievable performance as he watches that one go outside for ball 1.
Just a home run shy of the cycle here tonight. And Royals fans, they want to believe.
Lund will get set for the 1-0. Check over at second base. The head tilt. And that's going to be in for a strike. Leader tripled and scored in the first, hit a pair of doubles in the third and the fourth, respectively. The single came in the sixth. Just what a ball game we have been in for here between these two top-ranked teams in the IBL. The delivery, and that's going to just miss Leader. He gets out of the way.
Narrowly missed his leg there. Fans not liking that Lund was throwing inside real close to Andy Leader, but count now up to 2-1.
I'm wondering if you get to a 3-1 if you just walk him. You're gonna put one into your wheelhouse, and that's in for a strike. That'll paint the inside edge, according to Dean Oberle. 2-2 with 2 away.
I think you got to be careful if you walk Leader, because that's going to bring up Connor Morrow. Set up for, I'll say it again, he is having one heck of a night, flying under the radar. Not the wisest choice to walk Leader.
The 2-2, and that's going to be cued off the end of the bat. This could do it. Mishandled over to first, and in time. Leader can't believe it, but the Majors come out and get the win. 6-4 in 10 innings.
Wow, what a contest. Like, no words, honestly. Really fantastic stuff from these two teams, and if this is the appetizer, I cannot wait for the entree. The main courses still to come this Friday in London. Make sure to get your tickets. And this Saturday, the last home game for your Guelph Royals right here at Hastings.
The Guelph Royals lose this one by a score of 6-4 in 10 innings. The London Majors now 2 games up on the Royals with just 3 games left in the regular season. The Barrie Baycats, meantime, now just ahead of the London Majors by a full game. Count that, a full game separating those two teams at this point in time. It is going to be a wild finish, and these two teams still have to battle twice in the midst of it from now until Sunday. Again, get your tickets for Friday night at Labatt Park. If you can't join everybody at Labatt Park, tune in to the London Majors YouTube stream at Majors TV. I'm sure Noah and Dylan will have the job for you there. I know I have a similar voice as Mr. Noah Smith, but it will not be me over there in the Royal City, in the Forest City. But it's going to be a heck of a matchup nonetheless. So once again, the final score 6-4 here at Hastings Stadium. The London Majors come out with the victory and improve to 24-15 on the season. Guelph drops to 22-17. The Royals have lost 4 straight ball games. They need to find something from now until the end of the year to get some momentum going for themselves heading into the playoffs. Well, Josh, it's been fun. Great to have you in the booth here tonight.
Great night to be here in the booth with you, partner. Wow, what a matchup. It's crunch time. This is where the season gets oh so fun. And I can't wait to be back here at Hastings on Saturday for the penultimate game of the Royal season.
He's Josh, he's Neil, I'm Mark saying so long and good night from Hastings Stadium here in Guelph.